Live from Recreation Park in Healdsburg, California. My name is Jordan Brenner, my partner Jonathan Rifkind. Pleasure to bring you Conejo Oaks Baseball, Game 3 of this weekend series. We have the Healdsburg Prune Packers sitting in second place in the California Collegiate League with a record of 4-1 and 15-1 overall against your Conejo Oaks, who currently aren't going so great. Last place in the CCL, 3-8 record in league play, 5-9 overall. It has not been the best start to the season, but lucky for the Oaks, they have a chance to salvage a game on this brutal road trip here today. Jonathan, as we bring you into the broadcast, what did you see in yesterday's games that maybe inspires some hope today? Because I know yesterday, absolutely brutal in terms of the scores. The first game, 11-4. The second game, 11-2. But it was a brutal day. It was hot outside. It was a road trip. Jonathan, what do you see today?
Look, yesterday the Oaks gave up a total of 26 hits. That's not something that you want to do if you're the Conejo Oaks in any fashion, not only in a day span, but within the next 3, 4, 5 games. We saw them give up 15 hits, a season high the first game, and 11 hits, tied for second over the season in the second game. What I think needs to happen today is don't worry about yesterday. Oftentimes these guys will dwell a little bit. Don't worry about yesterday. It's a brand new day. It's not 105 degrees out there. It's 82. It's much nicer, a lot somber. The crowd has showed up, and it's a morning game. These guys play well in morning games, and I think that, look, they got a good night's sleep. The situation's way different this morning than it was yesterday afternoon when they had to play the first of a doubleheader in blistering heat. This team is ready. And they have Dylan Francis going, the best starter on this team, at least to this point in the season. If he can get ahead of these batters for Healdsburg, give the Oaks some confidence, and the offense can stop leaving runners on base, I think they actually could take game number 3 of the series.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jonathan. The starter for today's game for the Oaks, Dylan Francis, he's been great for the Oaks, sporting an ERA of 1.08 in 8 1/3 innings pitched. But on the other side, another very, very talented starter, Holden Christian out of LMU. He has not given up a run in 7 1/3 innings pitched. We see on the field the two head coaches, Mr. Gomes and head coach Dave Solis, chatting with the umpires on the field. We'll give you lineups right now or in a few minutes, Jonathan?
I think we could do it in a couple of minutes. Let's chat a little bit more. And that is Brian Wilson, by the way, not Coach Solis chatting out there. He's the third base coach with Coach Gomes. But, look, the Oaks are on a 4-game losing skid. This is the longest losing streak in 3 seasons for the Conejo Oaks, and it has to happen. Look, the team has consistently made the playoffs the last 5 years. They're known as one of the more elite programs in the California Collegiate League. With that being said, not every year you can win game in and game out. And so it's important to say, well, look, this may not necessarily be the year that the Oaks win the championship, but that doesn't mean that they can't improve. They can't get better. There's still a month left of the season. There's a lot of baseball to play. The Oaks are still missing 2 guys, at least 2 guys. They may get a third. We're not sure. But once a team comes and is fully healthy, I think that they can make a run. With that being said, it has to start right now. The offense is good. This team can hit. We're not unaware of that. What's been eluding them is leaving these runners on base. If they can bat around, string a couple of hits together, and stop leaving leadoff runners on base, then they're going to fare a lot better in these ball games. On top of that, I think the pitching has shown a lot of inconsistency. The bullpen has come in. Whether it be a 3-1 lead, they've given that up. Whether it be a 4-0 lead, they've given that up. What this bullpen needs to do is stop focusing on the score on the board, because I think there's a sense of contentment when they come in with the Oaks up. When the Oaks come down, I also think that when they come in with the Oaks down, I do think there's also a sense of contentment, because they figure, okay, at this point it's 7-1. There's no point in us really caring as much. Look, they're here to develop their own stats, to develop their own skills, and that makes a lot of sense. But the team camaraderie hasn't been there, I don't think, on both sides of the ball for this team as much as it should be. And once they build that chemistry, they're going to start winning a lot more games, and it has to start today, because we're already getting to the part of the season, the middle part of the CCL season, where it may be it's not too little too late, but it can be too little too late once the second week of July hits, and they don't want to wait that long to start winning.
Yeah, absolutely, Jonathan. A lot of really good points there. The pitching, not their best day yesterday. You mentioned that is not the strength of this team. In the first game of the doubleheader, the Oaks surrendered 15 hits, which was a season high. The second game, not much better. 11 hits surrendered, 11 runs in both games for the Prune Packers, and we saw the ball flying all over the yard for the Oaks. Brandon Lewis went deep in the first game. Chase Cockrell went deep in the second game. Sam Shaken had a big day of his own, 3 extra base hits. We're going to pause for the national anthem, and we will be right back.
Oh, say. Pleasure to have you.
We're back here at Recreation Park. Now we'll give you lineups. First for the Conejo Oaks, the visiting team, sporting their their navy blue uniforms with white numbers on the back, white letters on the front, and gray pants and navy blue socks. Leading off for Coach Solis' squad, Sam Shaken out of Valparaiso playing shortstop. Second, Brandon Lewis at third base. He's from UC Irvine, batting third. Michael Spears out of Ole Miss. He's playing right field today. In the 4-hole, Chase Cockrell from Ole Miss DHing today in center field. And batting fifth, Elijah Alexander from UT Rio Grande Valley. Batting sixth from USC, the first baseman, Bart West. Batting seventh from Cal State Los Angeles, the left fielder, Michael Tillman in the 8th spot. At second base, Tanner Wright from Cal Lutheran University, and rounding out the order and behind the plate, Zach Kamenko from UNLV, the starting pitcher for the Oaks, Dylan Francis. We'll give you the field for the Healdsburg Prune Packers now, their lineup in the bottom half of the inning. And your outfield is as follows. In left field, Dane Toftland. In center field, Luke Fagan. The right fielder, Ryan Ruley. Your infield, Quentin Selma at the hot corner, third base. The shortstop, Sam Wesniak at second base. Brian Arias at first base. Cade Peters behind the plate. Cole Bradnansky. And then a starting pitcher from LMU, Holden Christian. And he should be the story today, the southpaw. He has been nothing short of remarkable so far this year. 11 strikeouts, only 7 1/3 innings pitched. Has not given up a run yet. He will be going for the series sweep as we are just about set for baseball. First pitch time should be around 10:05. And Sam Shaken stepping in to lead off the game. He had a really big day yesterday. A couple hits in the second game of the doubleheader. First pitch taken for a ball, a fastball up and away. Shaken, yesterday's game, a triple to left field, a double to left field in the second game, and in the first game, Shaken added another extra base hit. 1-0 pitch is outside, 2-0. On the year, Shaken hitting .292, a home run, 5 RBIs. Certainly heating up after a little bit of a lackluster start. The 2-0 pitch on its way, taken upstairs, 3-0. Now 3-0 on deck, Brandon Lewis. Because of the small dugouts, a lot of the Oaks players have to stand outside of the dugout as the 3-0 pitch comes in there, and that is your first called strike for the Prune Packers at the knees, a fastball. It seems as though Coach Solis is gaining a little bit of consistency with his starting lineup. 3-1 pitch taken on the corner, called strike 2. The count is full, 2 shaken. And Christian is a fast worker out on the hill. Outfield is playing relatively deep, and there is not a lot of wind right now. The full count pitch swung and fouled back to the screen, out of play. 3-2 again.
Shaken trying to capitalize on his big day yesterday. One of the only productive Oaks in both games. He was 1 for 1 in the first game and 3 for 4 in the second game. We'll see if he can continue what he did yesterday. Remember, he had that triple to lead off the game. If he can do the same thing here, the Oaks may be in business early.
The full count pitch again. Shaken, swings, and fouls that one out of play to our right near the gazebos and the Boys and Girls Club of Healdsburg. It is a historic ballpark, as we touched upon a lot yesterday. Big grandstands out in right center field and right field as the 3-2 pitch on its way. Shaken, the ground ball over to third base, fielded by Quinton Selma over to first. On the stretch, Cade Peters makes the catch and records the first out of the inning and the game.
Quinton Selma had one error yesterday, but overall was very stellar out there at third base. He moves his feet so well, he kind of shuffles instead of breaks for the ball, so he keeps his body lined up with his target, which in that case was first base. Well done there from Selman. It's very hard to be assured an infield hit when that ball is hit to the left side here in Healdsburg.
Brandon Lewis steps in, fresh off a game where he hit his second homer of the season, takes a heater down the heart of the plate for strike 1. And if the Oaks want to recover from this 3-8 start in CCL play, you better believe Brandon Lewis will be right at the heart of that comeback. As the 0-1 pitch comes in, off the plate away, a fastball, 1-1. Part of the historic park includes some of the great Major League Baseball players who once played here. Joe DiMaggio, Don DiMaggio, his brother, once played here at Recreation Park in Healdsburg. 1-1 pitch. There's the curveball off speed, down low, in the dirt, 2-1.
Christian has to be careful because Brandon Lewis is no stranger to hitting looping curveballs. That one dropped low, but if he hangs one, that's the last thing you want to do.
2-1 pitch on its way. He bounced a fastball on the plate, 3-1.
Good patience here from Lewis. Christian falling behind once again, but we saw what he did when he fell behind against Sam Shaken. It was 3-0. He threw 3 more pitches, got it to a 3-2 count, and forced Shaken to ground out to third.
Lewis hit a home run in inning number 1 of yesterday's game. And he takes a fastball down in the way and draws a walk to get to first base, and he represents the Oaks' first base runner of the morning.
Patience, patience, patience. The ball won't carry today like it did yesterday with the temperature about 30 degrees cooler. And that's an important fact to know, so this team won't be swinging away as much. We saw a lot of strikeouts in the first game, 8 to be exact. If they can put bat to ball here and try to find those spots in the short outfield where they have been doing all season, they should be looking pretty good on the offensive end.
Michael Spears, the new hitter, takes the first pitch, a ground ball over to second base. Shortstop, the relay over to second in time, back to first. Peters stretches to record the 6-4-3 double play to end the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base for the Oaks. They get a base runner, can't make anything of it. We're through a half inning here in Healdsburg, California. Score still 0-0 on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. Back in for the bottom of the first inning. Now the starting lineup for the home team, Healdsburg Prune Packers, sporting their gray jerseys with maroon numbers on the front and back, gray pants, and black helmets. Leading off in center field, Luke Fagan. He goes to Indiana State. The right fielder batting second from LMU, Ryan Ruley. Batting third, Brian Arias at second base from UT San Antonio. The cleanup hitter, Jacob McNichols from Santa Clara. He's DHing. The fifth hitter, Dane Coughlin from Indiana State in left field. After him, Quentin Selma, the third baseman from the University of California, Berkeley. Behind him, his teammate Sam Wesniak, shortstop. Also from Cal, batting eighth, Cade Peters, the first baseman from UC Riverside. Rounding out the order, the catcher, Cole Bradnansky from Santa Rosa Junior College. And Fagan is going to step in here. He's having himself quite a start to the season. And now the defense for the Conejo Oaks. Your outfield, left field, is Michael Tillman, Elijah Alexander in center, Michael Spears in right. Then field, Brandon Lewis, Sam Shakin left side, Tanner Wright, Bart West, the right side, behind the plate, Zach Kamenko, and the pitcher, Dylan Francis. He's on the mound, his first pitch to Fagan. Just a moment away, and here it is. He kicks and offers. Fastball, they were swinging. Foul tip off the front leg, off the plate, 0-1.
Francis, perhaps the best pitcher for the Oaks, at least to this point in the season, in terms of starters. Obviously, Engen Denton and Joe Torres in the conversation for the bullpen pitchers, but he has been absolutely stellar in his first couple of appearances with Conejo Oaks. Expect today to be a pitcher's duel.
And the normal leadoff hitter, Wendell Champion, took a hit-by-pitch in the first inning. Did not return to the game yesterday. Next pitch is fouled off to the left side, a roller to Lewis. Out of play. So now 0-2 to Fagan, who hit ninth in both games yesterday. And with the injury to Champion, he leads off today. 0-2 pitch on the corner, called strike three. And a good start for Dylan Francis. Strikeout looking to Fagan. And that's exactly how you want to start this game if you're head coach Solis.
It is, and Francis has been racking up the strikeout totals and minimal innings pitched. So it's important for him to keep doing what he's doing. He's been stellar so far this season.
That was Francis's 14th strikeout of the season. First pitch into Ryan Ruley, taken down and away, 1-0. Ruley on the year, 356, 3 home runs, 11 RBIs. The 1-0 pitch comes in, a fastball lined out of play to the right side, 1-1.
And for Francis getting finally his second start of the season, he is 1-0. And that 1.08 ERA has been upsetting batters left and right.
Count even at 1. Here's the pitch. Off speed. Did he go? Yes, he did. Says the home plate umpire, 1-2. Ryan Ruley, 2 hits in the nightcap of yesterday's doubleheader. In the first game, also added 2 hits as well. 1-2 pitch on its way, a ground ball over to Shakin at short. He fields. Quick relay over to first. In time to get him by a couple steps. 2 outs quickly in the inning. 6-3 on the putout. Brian Arias, the next hitter. The second baseman having nothing short of a remarkable season at the plate so far. He is hitting .400 with 4 home runs and 15 RBIs. A lot of the home run numbers for this Healdsburg team come in large part because of their lopsided schedule so far. Many games played at home. The first pitch Fastball down on the dirt, 1-0.
Many games played at home and only 5 CCL games in their first 17 games of the season.
And with all those home games, you have those left field dimensions for a power righty like Arias. About 250 or so down the left field line. Next pitch, a hot shot over to first base. Bart West fields it on the backhand, taps first base to end an uneventful first inning for both of these teams. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. 0-0 is the score. We got a long day of baseball. We're excited to bring it to you. Don't go anywhere here on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. Chase Cockrell leading off the top half of the second inning. He digs in, sporting a .471 average with a home run and 2 RBIs. His first home run came controversially yesterday. It was a shot to right field. Seems everybody in the town of Healdsburg thought it was a grand roll double.
Yeah, everybody in the town of Healdsburg except for the right fielder, Ryan Ruley at the time. He knew it was a home run.
First pitch to Cockrell, taken upstairs, 1-0. Cockrell has been a lightning bolt since joining this Oaks lineup. Next pitch, taken for a ball, 2-0. Until his home run in the 9th inning yesterday, Cockrell was 0 for 3 in the nightcap as he takes the next pitch outside, 3-0. In the first game, Cockrell was 1 for 4 with an RBI base hit to left field, a couple strikeouts. He also reached on an error. 3-0 pitch on its way, taken outside. They wanted nothing to do with Cockrell. He'll take his 4-pitch walk and jog over to first base and leave it to Elijah Alexander. Alexander tied for the lead in home runs. He is the solo leader in RBIs for this team. Average of .256, 2 bombs, 9 RBIs. Power lefty digs in to the batter's box, facing a left-on-left matchup with Christian. He checks first base, fires first pitch, a fastball in the dirt, 1-0. Elijah Alexander has bounced around the lineup quite a bit. When the season started, it seemed as though Alexander was destined to be the leadoff hitter for this team, but his RBI production forced Coach Solis to put him in the middle of the lineup. Next pitch fouled back to the catcher's mask, and behind the plate, Brodnansky seems to be okay, but we're going to pause for a second to make sure. The umpire going to go hand Christian a new baseball. Alexander, both of his home runs to right field. One of them was off a lefty, if you are wondering whether he has that power against pitchers from both sides. In fact, the one against the lefty was one of the longest home runs I've ever seen. 1-1 pitch. Checks his swing. He held up, 2-1.
The Oaks have been, and that was smart to check and wait because the Oaks have been beneficiaries of the wrong side of check swing calls the last couple of days, especially yesterday in game number 1 for Chase Cockrell. So these guys all being very wary of that.
2-1 pitch. Taken down in the dirt, 3-1. Dimensions here, 336 down the right field line. An approximate 250 down the left field line. 400 in the deepest part of the yard, about 390 to dead center field, maybe a little bit less, 380. It does not say. 3-1 pitch taken for ball 4, and the Oaks, something brewing. A couple walks to start off this inning. Their third of the day.
Now you get the lineup that's been hitting pretty well. Bart West and then Tanner Wright. Michael Tillman has been hitting, but he's also been striking out a little bit in the last couple of at-bats. So for him, I think it would be important if Bart West can make something of this inning with the 2 runners on and nobody away. It'll be an important spot for Tillman to be able to start honing in on the skills we know he has. He led Pierce Junior College in batting average, and it just hasn't translated so far this season, though I do expect that it will start translating because he's shown the clutch that he has a couple of games at a time.
Yeah, Bart West, the new hitter, leads the Oaks in walks and base hits, but also leads the Oaks in strikeouts with 15. He's had himself a pretty good start to the year, 325, no home runs, and 6 RBIs. Christian peers in for his sign. The first pitch to West upcoming. Cockrell leads off of second, Alexander at first. Christian steps off for a second, now ready to go.
How about the change of pace in this game? Both those games were going so quickly. The pitchers were working fast here today. So far, Christian working slowly.
First pitch to West. On the corner, called a strike on a beautiful fastball. 0-1.
And pitchers have realized this about Bart West. He tucks his hands in when he swings, so when they pitch on that outside corner, he's normally caught looking. He needs to find a way to extend on those strikes.
0-1 pitch. First to check at second. Another check, and now the pitch. Fastball at the knees, 0-2 to West. He disagreed. Going to turn around and ask politely to the umpire where that pitch was. And West, he has done a pretty good job spraying the ball all over the yard. Hits to right field, left field, all over the place. 0-2. West checks his swing on the off-speed pitch down in the dirt, 1-2. And the thing that West really needs to improve on are his extra base hits. West 3 doubles, but no home runs, no triples quite yet. Certainly in the tank, and we all know that. 1-2 pitch on its way. West checks his swing again in the dirt again. Count even at 2. There's a lot of room down the left field line. If West can maybe hit a ground ball down the left field line. A lot of open space over there as the left fielder, Dane Toftland, is playing more towards left center field. Still no hits yet for the Oaks. Next pitch, a high fly ball to shallow right field. Rotating over is the right fielder, really making the play, and at second base. At second base, Chase Cockrell decides not to test the arm of the right fielder and heads back to second base. Next hitter for the Oaks, Michael Tillman from Cal State Los Angeles. 225, no home runs, 5 RBIs. Left fielder digs in now. Now Toftland in left field has rotated a little bit more back to the left field line. First pitch in the dirt gets by Brodnansky, and both runners will advance for the Oaks. Alexander still walking towards second base. No throw was needed to know that he was going to get there safely in time. So a couple runners in scoring position on the wild pitch. Tanner Wright on deck. 1-0 pitch to Michael Tillman. The kick and the pitch. In the dirt again, this time a good block from Brodnansky. 2-0. A little bit of a bigger crowd today with the non-extreme weather that we're dealing with today. Actually, a little bit of a breeze.
It's a comfortable temperature.
Absolutely. A beautiful day for baseball. The 2-0 pitch. Called a strike at the knees. 2-1. And yesterday, the Oaks played their 2 quickest ball games of the season, believe it or not. The second game actually was completed in under 2 hours. People wanted to get out of the sun. The 2-1 pitch. Below the knees, 3-1. But it certainly did not feel that way for everybody involved, and the players on both sides were not afraid to say it.
No, I think everybody was very honest yesterday. The heat brought it out of them. Maybe even us a little bit too brutally as well in the broadcast.
Still always a pleasure to bring Oaks baseball. 3-1 pitch is bounced. A beautiful block behind the plate by Brodnansky, preventing Cockrell from scoring from third base. And 3 walks in the inning have now loaded the bases for the second baseman, Tanner Wright.
4 walks in the first 2 innings. In the second game yesterday for the Oaks, they only walked twice. In the first game, they only walked 3 times, already capping both of those totals here in the second inning of the ball game. Good spot for them to finally get a run across the board early, and Tanner Wright is the man to do it.
Christian sets at the belt. First pitch into Wright. Down and away, 1-0. And why swing if he's not putting it anywhere near the zone? I think that's the Oaks mentality right now.
And most of these pitches have missed low and away. It's not like he's missing various spots in the zone. He's keeping it away from these batters, and it hasn't been helping him at all.
Tanner Wright, 300 hitter. To be exact, it's 303. Next pitch. This time called a strike at the knees, 1-1. No home runs yet for Tanner. 5 RBIs. Kamenko waiting on deck. He is the 3rd catcher to start for the Oaks this weekend. A committee approach behind the plate. 1-1 pitch. Fouled back to the screen, 1-2.
It's funny to see the bases loaded in the second inning, but no hits up on the board. Patience has been the key to the game so far here, but Tanner Wright's behind in the count.
1-2 to Tanner Wright. Holton Christian fires a fastball, maybe an off-speed pitch. Fouled behind the plate. The catcher Brodnansky rotates in front of the Oaks dugout and makes a beautiful basket catch for the second out of the inning. It'll be up to Zach Kamenko to drive in the runners on the bases.
Runners left in scoring position, runners left on base has been the Achilles heel of this team. They've been out-hitting teams in games that they've lost because they've left runners on base. They were able to load up the bases with only 1 out, now in danger of leaving them loaded, though. Kamenko, who's been swinging the bat pretty well, will look to continue his hot streak here.
Kamenko digs in with a .214 average. First pitch, Kamenko takes the fastball a little bit high, 1-0. Sam Shagan waiting on deck. That would turn the Oaks lineup over. The 1-0 pitch on its way. Kamenko digs in and fouls a pitch back on the ground to the screen, 1-1.
And don't be afraid to take pitches here if you're Zach, because we have seen a lot of pitches low and away. If it looks like it's low and away, let it stay low and away, because the last thing you want to do is let Holden Christian get out ahead of you by way of bad pitches.
Christian peers in. Sets, takes a deep breath, and fires. Off speed. No, that's a fastball. Taken up and away, 2-1. The wind is blowing towards right field. It is a slight breeze, though. Christian peers in for a sign. Here's the offer. Now back to the screen on the liner. Kamenko is right on it. Couldn't catch up to the heater. 2-2. And as you mentioned, Jonathan, runners left in scoring position has been the Achilles heel of this Conejo Oaks offense. Two-two pitch. Seems Christian and catcher Brad Dansky can't get on the same page. And Kamiko's going to step out because of it. And I always like when batters do that. It's as if they are controlling this at-bat. This is their at-bat. The pitcher is not in control. I am. The 2-2 pitch. Kamiko lined up the middle, a base hit. Cockerell scores. Elijah Alexander will score. And a 2-out, 2 RBI base hit up the middle for Zach Kamiko gives the Oaks an early lead of 2-0.
Kamiko, like you said, figured out how to control that at-bat. He stepped out. He showed Christian that he wasn't going to back down from the 2-2 count, and he absolutely demolished that ball into center field to put 2 runs up on the board.
Definitely a confidence boost for a team that has always struggled this year, driving in runners with 2 outs. And beautiful at-bat from the catcher. Shaken steps in, 0 for 1 with a ground out. First pitch, he's swinging, fly ball on the infield. The shortstop, Wesniak, doesn't have to move very far, makes the catch, but not before the Oaks pour on 2 runs and a hit. No errors and 2 men left on base. 2-0 Oaks here on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. That would have been a really good call if I didn't stutter like 6 times on Alexander's name.
Yeah, but I was the...
Jake McNichols leading off the bottom of the 2nd inning, trying to come back from the 2-0 deficit that the Healdsburg Prune Packers face. That came by way of Zach Kamiko's 2-out, 2 RBI base hit to center field in the bottom half or the top half of this inning. First pitch taken downstairs, a little bit away, 1-0. McNichols, 333, 6 bombs, 16 RBIs for the slugger. Yesterday did not enjoy his best day, especially in the nightcap. 4 strikeouts. 1-0 pitch to McNichols in the dirt, 2-0. He was vying for his golden sombrero, which is the name for a 5 strikeout game in the 8th inning, but he was hit by a pitch and avoided it. 2-0 pitch, outside, 3-0. In the first game for McNichols, he hit the home run in the 1st inning and then was hitless in all of the at-bats. But he drew a walk in the first game. The 3-0 pitch on its way inside, taken 4-pitch walk to McNichols. That is Francis's first walk given up. And he'll be on first base for Dane Tofflin, the Indiana State player. The left fielder hitting .333, no home runs, and 9 RBIs.
Well, you know what they say, imitation is the best form of flattery. The Healdsburg Prune Packers trying to show the patience that the Caneo Oaks showed to muster up those 2 runs on their half of the second inning.
So a runner on, nobody out. Francis sets at the belt, a long pause and the pitch. Slider, swung and a miss, 0-1.
Slider's deadly. Francis does a very good job making it start on the inside part of the plate and then curls around, falls outside, and has those batters not only ahead, but swinging and missing wherever the location that ball ends up.
No doubt about it. No balls, 1 strike. McNichols takes a short lead at first base, the kick and the pitch. Line down the left field line, foul. 0-2. He was right on that heater. A little bit out in front.
Now a good spot here for Francis to go off speed, maybe a pitch in the dirt or a high fastball. He's established that outside part of the zone and now the heart of the plate. He can kind of go wherever he wants, especially ahead 0-2. I'd expect something very high or in the dirt, though he could go back to that slider outside.
He could. We'll see in a second. Francis peers in for his sign. The pitch, a fastball elevated. Tofton lays off, 1-2.
That was the pitch to throw. Tofton, though, picked it up, and that was a good take by the Indiana State Sycamore.
Francis sports a fastball slider changeup combination. We have not seen the changeup yet. 1-2. The pitch fouled off to the left side, 1-2 again. Francis back on the hill after a short pause. He is certainly taking his time, does not want to make a mistake to Tofland. Winds and fires. A fastball, did it catch the corner? No, it did not. 2-2.
Kamenko did hold that ball where it was, though I think it missed just a little bit outside. The umpire was adamant that that was a ball. That was the loudest ball call I've heard all season long by an umpire.
And we were very impressed with all Oaks catchers' ability to frame the pitch yesterday, particularly Drew Sims. 2-2 pitch, slider swung on and missed. He buried it. A good play by Kamenko to catch the ball, not even needing a tag on the buried pitch. And the second strikeout of the day for Dylan Francis.
Francis worked methodically. He's always very composed out there. You saw it. And Brenner, you said, look, he's being very slow out on the mound. He wants to make sure that he doesn't make a mistake to Tofton. Well, he certainly didn't make a mistake. He buried the slider, and especially against a right-handed pitcher, that is a near impossible pitch to hit.
Quinton Selma, the Berkeley Golden Bear. Left-handed hitter, digs in, takes a first pitch off the plate. Fastball about a foot outside, 1-0. And Selma, another player raking for this team, 17 RBIs on the .312 average, has also launched 3 home runs. The pitch from Francis, a fastball swung on and missed, 1-1.
And Francis doesn't throw necessarily blinding speed, but in the high 80s, between 86 and 89, maybe up to 90 is his fastball, but it's the location. Location can be more effective than speed, and Francis knows where to place these pitches to get batters out swinging and missing or have them taking for strikes.
1-1 pitch. Lined out to left field. Rotating over, Cockrell makes the play on the run, fires back towards the infield. Retreating towards first base is McNichols.
Shortstop, number 3, Sam.
Tillman out in left field.
Yeah,
Cockrell is DHing today.
He got the 2 left field starts yesterday, but yeah, Cockrell, after having some trouble out there in left yesterday, he did have an error, is being assigned his normal spot where he plays at Ole Miss in the DH.
Sam Wesniak, the teammate of Quinton Selma, also from Cal Berkeley, digging in, 267, no home runs, 9 RBIs. Runner off of first base with 2 outs in the inning. First pitch at the knees, a strike, 0-1. Wozniak was awarded the Golden Sombrero.
Platinum sombrero.
Platinum sombrero. 5 strikeouts, and he swings and misses at the 0-1 pitch.
McNichols got the golden sombrero with 4.
Right. There is a difference between the Golden Sombrero and the Platinum Sombrero.
Can you imagine having to wear a platinum sombrero? I think it would weigh me down. I don't think I could walk.
One and 2 pitch.
Guess not.
Maybe. I don't know. We got to try that out. 0-2 pitch. Jam shot over to second base. Tanner Wright comes in a few steps and retrieves it to end the inning in the second. No runs, no hits, no errors, a runner left on base. We're through 2 full innings, 2-0 in favor of the Oaks here on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. Back in for the top of the third inning. The Oaks a 2-0 lead early on. Brandon Lewis stepping in for his second plate appearance. No official at bat yet today because of his walk in the first inning. Lewis swings at the first pitch. High fly ball towards the right field line. Not deep, and making a diving play, the second baseman, Brian Arias, adjusting to the ball that was dancing around in the sky for the first out of the inning. The play.
Great plan. A heads-up play by Peters from first base and Ryan Rulli out of left field to allow the second baseman Arias to make that play. Luckily, there was no convergence, and Arias was able to dive and make it successfully.
Michael Spears swings at the first pitch. High bouncing ground ball over to third base. Quinton Selma moves over there, retrieves the ball over to first. Peters makes the catch to record the second out of the inning. 2 pitches, 2 outs here for the Oaks.
And you know, Holden Christian is saying, I'm going to throw Chase Cockrell a strike because he wants those 3 outs and 3 pitches, though the problem, and Cockrell might be taking on this pitch regardless, is that you don't want to miss a pitch to Chase Cockrell because that could mean only bad things for your team.
Cockrell walked and scored a run in the second inning. Takes the first pitch off the plate. The first ball taken in this half inning. The 1-0 pitch. Cockrell swings and misses at a fastball thrown right by him. 1-1. A lot of news in the sports world all over the place. World Cup, NBA free agency, NBA draft. The 1-1 pitch comes in. Swing and a miss from Cockrell again, 1-2. Major League Baseball in full swing. Bigger than the CCL summer schedule is full, and then it's in full swing. The 1-2 pitch to Cockrell in the dirt, taken 2-2. Some remarkable plays in the World Cup, Jonathan. Have you been keeping up with that at all?
Oh, absolutely. England winning 6-1. of course, Tony Kroos's 94th minute goal to give Germany the win yesterday.
That was crazy. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss to end the inning. A 1-2-3 half inning for Hayden Christian. And Oaks, 2-0. The lead, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We are through 2.5 innings from Recreation Field. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Oaks Baseball and Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network.
Peter.
We are back from Recreation Park in Healdsburg, California, a little bit north of San Francisco, a little bit north of Oakland, California. Scores 2-0. The Oaks on top after dropping both games of the doubleheader yesterday. Doing a good job trying to salvage Game 3 of this 3-game series. Dylan Francis, first pitch of the inning. There's the changeup a little bit outside, 1-0 to Cade Peters from UC Riverside. Peters hitting .308 with no home runs and 3 RBIs this year. Next pitch to Peters, swing and a miss on the changeup, located beautifully, and Kamenko also a good job blocking that pitch in the dirt. 1-1. It's a beautiful community feel here in Healdsburg. They love their baseball. 1-1 pitch. Fastball a little bit outside, 2-1. There is a pickup basketball game out in center field. A neighborhood out in left field. The 2-1 pitches foul back to the screen, 2-2.
How about the Boys and Girls Club of Central Sonoma County to our right? A lot of action from residences to basketball courts to a beautiful facility for Healdsburg's young folks to be able to get out and play the sports that they know and love.
And trees everywhere also. 2-2 pitch. Francis winds and fires a changeup. Fly ball out to shallow center field. Alexander and shaken. Actually going to make the basket catch Willie Mays style out in shallow center field for the first out of the inning. That was a spectacular play. Maybe the most spectacular play of the season from Shaken, who really makes a lot of difficult plays look very easy.
He is.
But that time he had to run about 30 yards out into shallow center field and bail out Alexander, who was positioned very deep in center, and make that play. Francis, first pitch delivered to Cole Brodnansky, spiked it in the dirt, 1-0. Brodnansky, 264, no home runs, 8 RBIs from Santa Rosa Junior College. The 1-0 pitch, two-seamer. A little bit outside, 2-0. The Oaks got back to the motel that they're staying pretty late last night, around 10:30, and many were surprised to open their room to a sauna. It was blistering hot. The air conditioning was not working. The 2-0 pitch. Fastball lifted out of play to the right side, 2-1.
The air conditioning wasn't working in any of the rooms.
At least in the wing that I was positioned.
Oof.
It was tough, but it almost provided a little bit of a bonding experience. Everybody's doors were opened. People were hanging out in the hallway. And Oaks definitely got enough sleep at the end of the night. The 2-1 pitch. Lifted again towards the right side. Bart West over to have a look. Well in foul territory. And it comes back a little bit closer to the field. West was out behind the bleachers. Anyway, the ball lands foul. 2-1. No, excuse me, 2-2. Oaks were delighted with a Domino's pizza dinner. Nothing wrong with that, huh, Jonathan? Long day of baseball, coming back and just pounding down a few slices. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Francis winds and the delivery. Pitch low but lifted out to right field. Michael Spears coming in, retrieves it for the second out of the inning.
Luke Fagan.
Luke Fagan in for his second plate appearance. And Fagan, a strikeout looking his first time up. Center fielder digs himself in there. 2 outs and nobody on. Francis has cruised through the first 2 2/3 innings so far. Wind on the pitch. Inside corner, called a strike. And we've gotten used to calling Francis's pitches strikes on the broadcast this year. He has been pounding the zone. Arguably the best Oaks pitcher this year. 0-1 pitch. Slider down and away. 1-1. But a good pitch. It seems with Francis, every time he throws a pitch, there is purpose behind it. Even if he's throwing a ball, that pitch that is a ball works towards a next pitch that's setting something up.
It's all methodical.
1-1 pitch. Fastball line back to the screen, and that's a perfect example. The 0-1 pitch was a slider down in the dirt. And you know, that slows the bat speed up of a Healdsburg hitter. Or at least it puts that slider in the back of their head, so when you throw the fastball the next pitch, it's just that much faster, has that extra tick of velocity.
And he knows how to establish the entire strike zone. High strike zone at the knees, inside, outside. It doesn't matter. He'll get you with that outside slider. That'll force batters to swing and miss. He establishes the outside part of the zone. He'll hit you with a fastball on the inside part of the zone, a changeup at the knees, and a high fastball. And all of a sudden, you don't know what you're going to get because this guy has so many opportunities to hit strikes no matter where the zone is placed.
The 1-2 offering. Slow ground ball over to Lewis at third. Sidearm over to first in time for the third out of the inning. Another 1-2-3 frame for Francis. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base. 2-0 Oaks. Don't go anywhere. You got Oaks baseball all day long. You're watching Oaks baseball on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. Back in for the top of the fourth inning, and for play-by-play in this 2-0 game for the 4th, 5th, and 6th innings, here's my partner, Jonathan Rifkin.
Thanks, Jordan. Phenomenal job, as always, as Elijah Alexander will lead things off here for the Oaks. He's 0 for 0 today with a walk and a run scored. Holden Christian back on the rubber here. Lefty-on-lefty matchup. He fires the first pitch low for ball 1. Alexander, from the Thousand Oaks area, played his high school ball at Camarillo High School, then played at Ventura College before heading to the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley. Batted just over 280, but had a couple of walk-offs over the season. 1-0 pitch from Christian, misses low and away, 2-0 the count. And he's one of the most skilled players on this team. He's fast, he has power, he can hit for contact, and he's a phenomenal fielder. A Swiss Army knife as he launches that one out to right field, though not far enough, as Rulli will hit it right at the track for out number 1. And I said hit the ball, I should say, when he caught it for out number 1. That'll bring up Bart West, who flew out over to right field his first time up from the University of Southern California. Had to medically redshirt after 3 games due to an injury, but he's been rehabbing quite nicely here for the Oaks. It's the first pitch to him. It's popped up, but out of play, 0-1 the count. 2 runs and a hit for Conejo. No runs, no hits for the Packers. No errors on either side. I hope everybody's enjoying their Sunday morning, watching Oaks baseball with some Sunday brunch, maybe a mimosa in hand. I know that if I wasn't here, that's maybe what I would be doing with some baseball out in front of me. Some early games on in the MLB as well.
I'd be sticking to my orange juice.
Well, I'm of age, so I think I'm allowed to. That pitch misses low, 1-1 the count. But seriously, no matter how you're watching or where you're watching, we appreciate you making us a part of your Sunday afternoon or morning plans, depending on where you're watching. The 1-1 misses outside. 2-1 the count here to Bart West. West, a prolific hitter, has struck out, though, 15 times to lead the team. Steps back in. The 2-1 pitch misses low, and he's showing the patience here. 3-1 the count now to the Trojan. Christian toes the rubber and offers the 3-1. West cracks that one in the gap into left field for a single. Found the pitch he was looking for, a fastball belt high, and pulled it for a single. The Oaks have 1 on with 1 away here in the top of the 4th inning.
I love that swing from Bart West. What he does better than I think anybody does on this team is throw his knob of the bat at the baseball. And that sounds like a weird thing. Obviously, you want the barrel to hit the baseball. But what you want to do when you're hitting is throw the knob of the bat at the baseball, because then the barrel will whip around and hit the ball square. It's a little bit weird, but that's how baseball players think. And what Bart West does is keep his hands inside and do that better than anybody. That's why you see such consistent contact from him.
Well, we have a new pitcher. Holden Christian's day is done. Jared Noonan from UC Riverside will take the mound. We're going to hit a break. 1 on, 1 away. 2-0 Oaks lead. More Noonan and Holden Christian's line when we come back right here on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. Jared Noonan from UC Riverside takes the helm here. Holden Christian's day has done 3 1/3 innings pitched, 2 hits, 2 runs, 4 walks, and a strikeout to his name. It's the first pitch here to Michael Tillman, misses away for ball 1. Those 2 runs that Holden Christian gave up were his 2 only runs he's given up this entire season. In over 9 innings pitched now, the Oaks were able to get to him early, the 1-0. Called a strike on the outside corner. Tillman is 0 for 0 today. He walked and was stranded on second back in the second inning. Headed to Cal State LA in the fall by way of Pierce Junior College. The 1-1 to him is swung on and missed, 1-2 the count. Has a heavy swing, reaches out in front of him. When he lifts that bat off his shoulder, he's very good at lining up the barrel with the ball, but sometimes he will miss the location. The 1-2 from Noonan. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Tillman goes down swinging for the first strikeout in Noonan's appearance. And now there's 2 away with 1 on for Tanner Wright.
Correction number 1, Tanner Wright.
Tanner Wright popped out into foul territory to the catcher Brodnansky his first time up. To keep the inning alive with Bart West currently on first base. The first pitch is a fastball in there for strike 1 on the outside corner. Beautifully pitched right there for the returner, Jared Noonan. Towing the rubber and offers the 0-1 in the dirt, blocked by Brodnansky, and Bart West to hold it at first base. Good block there. Brodnansky got his feet dirty a lot yesterday, or his knees, I should say, and the catcher's rule in the first game, a lot of wild pitches on both sides. The ball was slipping all over the place.
All that sweat all over people's hands.
And we talked to Justin Friedman as the 1-1 misses outside, 1-2 the count, about his start yesterday. It's actually 2-1 the count. And he talked about how on the slider that he throws, the ball was actually slipping out of his hand and going awry because his hands were just so sweaty that he had to change to a curveball. The 2-1 misses low, 3-1 the count. Temperature, though, here an easy 78 degrees so far. It is sunny, wind blowing steadily out to left center field. But everybody is happy it is not the 105 degrees that we saw yesterday. 3-1 in. Cracked foul off the screen. Full count now, 3 balls and 2 strikes to the Cal Lutheran superstar. One of the best players at putting bat to ball, rarely strikes out, only 2 so far this season in over 35 plate appearances. 3-2, misses low and away, ball 4. And the Oaks draw a 2-out walk, their 5th walk drawn of the game. West over to second, right over to first. And Zach Kamenko, so far the hero of the ball game with a 2 RBI single back in the second inning, will look to recreate it here. He was down the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Then was able to work the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes before roping a 2-out single to score the game's first and second runs.
What Tanner Wright did there is so valuable for this team. Not only does he find a way to get on base, but he sees pitches from this new pitcher and relays that information to his teammates back in the dugout, allowing them to have more quality at-bats.
Noonan has 2 runners on. 2 runs, 2 hits for the Oaks. No runs, no hits for the Packers here in the top of the 4th inning. No errors on either side. The first pitch to the UNLV Rebel gets away from Brodnansky. It's low, and runners will advance on the passed ball. It looked like it was in Brodnansky's glove, but maybe found the seam and popped right out back to the backstop. All runners are safe over at third now. Bart West, Tanner right over to second. I haven't seen a lot of pass balls, mostly wild pitches. That one ruled a pass ball. Fans here in Healdsburg very passionate about their Prune Packers. But there's a lot of action in the area this weekend. The Sonoma County Racetrack is hosting a NASCAR event. And the Sonoma County Wine Festival is also in full effect. But I think the most highly touted event has been this Oaks Healdsburg series. The 1-0 from Noonan. Misses low and away, 2-0 the count. Final of a 3-game road trip. The Oaks will be back home on Tuesday, 4:30 against the Ventura County Bucks. Back up to San Luis Obispo on Wednesday before hitting a 2-game series against the Orange County Surf at home on Thursday and then away on Friday to wrap up the weekend at home against the Puff Caps. That pitch misses low and away, 3-0 the count. And right there, Kamenko taking on the outside off speeder. He's one pitch away from getting the bases loaded.
Kamenko has impressed me today quite a bit behind the plate with his work controlling Francis, and obviously at the plate as well.
3-0 pitch, a strike at the knees, 3-1 in the count. Good take, but you still have a couple of pitches to work with. If you're Noonan, keep going at him. Don't expect Kamenko to swing and miss at a bad pitch because he's very good with his batter's eye.
And sorry, Jonathan.
No, go ahead, Jordan.
I'm just wondering if there's going to be a catcher breaking out this year, taking over that lead catcher's role, the starting spot.
3-1. Misses outside, ball 4. And that loads the bases. Barnansky tried to take the Oscar for the best frame, but that missed outside. And we have the bases loaded now with 2 away for the Oaks and Sam Shakin stepping in. Second walk drawn of the inning. The 6th Oaks walk drawn on the ball game here, and we're only in the 4th inning. That caps the total of 5 walks that they drew between the first and second game yesterday. Kamenko at first, Wright at second, West at third. Sam Shakin, who's 0 for 2, stepping in. The first pitch to him is cut on and missed for strike 1. Shakin grounded out to third and popped out to short in his first 2 appearances. Yesterday, he had a triple, a double, and also reached base by way of an error in the second game. He had a double in the first game in the 1 at-bat that he had. We'll try to put the bat to ball here with the bases loaded. Noonan offers the 0-1, misses inside, evens the count.
And usually with this Oaks team, it's the other team that draws all the walks. And it's the Oaks sitting on defense for what seems to be a half an hour.
Today, though, that story has changed just a bit. 6 walks so far. The 1-1 is sliced down the line, and that's going to drop fair. 1 run comes in. Rounding third, coming home is Tanner Wright. Sliding in the third base is Zach Kamenko. Sam Shakin doubles in. 2 more runs. The Oaks take a 4-0 lead here in the top of the 4th inning.
Third base owner 23.
I'm loving these 2-out hits for the Oaks. Rarely do we see them, but today, maybe a great breakfast was involved in this offensive outbreak. A beautiful swing from Shakin, who continues to stay hot.
Yeah, whatever the anecdote has been, it's been working here today so far. The Oaks taking a 4-0 lead pretty early in the game for Brandon Lewis now as that pitch misses outside for ball 1. Sam Shakin gets his 3rd double of the series, 3rd in 2 days. He doubled in both games yesterday, and it's been absolutely clutch for this team with 2 outs. That one is sliced in the left field, though making the... No, he can't make the catch as Toftelin. Coming around and scoring is Kamenko as well as Shakin. And Brandon Lewis is standing on second base. The Oaks take a 6-0 lead here. We'll see if they give it error to Toftelin. No, because he was on the move. It hit off his glove, but they're going to give Brandon Lewis a double, and the Oaks get a pair of doubles with 2 away, and they have a 6-0 lead.
Right fielder number 18, Michael Spears.
How about the Oaks? The line moving finally.
The first pitch to Michael Spears is in there for strike 1. By the way, Brandon Lewis was 0 for 1 with a walk and a pop out. Now has 2 RBIs and a double on the day. But yeah, the offense finally doing what we know they can do as that pitch misses outside, evens the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Spears is 0 for 2, a couple grounders to short, 1 that was turned for a double play, 1 that was just a simple 6-3 putout. His Ole Miss teammate, Chase Cockrell, waiting on deck. The 1-1, sliced down the line. If that's fair, that's extra bases, and it is! Rounding third, no, the home plate umpire called it foul. Head coach Elise, who was actually standing out there, said it was fair, and the entire Oaks bench just got a warning for disagreeing with the home plate umpire. That ball looked fair from our perspective, though. It may have just towed the line.
That looked very much like a fair ball, and the reason the umpire is so upset with the Oaks is because he was wrong, and he's afraid to admit it right there. I don't know what else to say.
And checking the replay on our screen, that was absolutely a fair ball. That should have been called a fair ball, but the umpire decided to call it a foul ball, and it's a 1-2 count now to Michael Spears, who could have knocked in another run for the Oaks had that call been made correctly.
And these hitters, you know, these are big at-bats, especially for Spears, who hasn't been doing so hot this season. That double and 2 RBIs boosts his average. That's 5 RBIs for him. That was a big hit for him that the umpire just took away.
A big boost, and unfortunately, he has to be back in the batter's box. The 1-2 is slapped into center field. Fagan takes a couple of steps forward and makes the catch for out number 3. Nonetheless, though, 4 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. The Oaks have taken a 6-0 lead here into the bottom of the 4th inning. 2, 3, and 4 batters due up after this on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. The Oaks are up 6-0 here after 4 big runs in the top half of the 4th inning. The Healdsburg Prune Packers now face a little bit of a hill to climb as Ryan Ruley steps in. He's 0 for 1 today. Ground out to short his first time up. And Dylan Francis, who's absolutely been dealing, back on the mound. The first pitch is a strike at the knees. The low part of the umpire has established that low part of the plate as a strike all game long. And Francis has been hitting it. He deals the 0-1. Missing low evens the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ruley, Arias, and McNichols, the 3 due up here. The only base runner has been Jacob McNichols for the Prune Packers. He walked back in the 2nd inning. Francis offers the 1-1. Hit to center field. Going back is Alexander at the track, and he makes the catch for out number 1. He makes catches look so easy out there just because of his jump and the swagger that he has whenever he makes the catch. You can sit safely or sit comfortably, and it's safe to say, especially when a ball is popped up to center field, that the odds of Elijah Alexander being out there and catching it are pretty good.
Oh, yeah. I mean, for Alexander, he's truly a 5-tool player. He can do it at the plate and certainly in the field, as you just mentioned.
Brian Arias now stepping in, the University of Texas San Antonio Roadrunner. The first pitch to him is popped up into shallow right field. Bart West was called off by Tanner Wright out of second base, and he makes the catch for out number 2. 2 quick outs here for the Oaks. The Packers are swinging away, but it's a little success so far. Jacob McNichols now stepping in. He's 0 for 0 with a walk, though he was stranded at first base. He led off the 2nd inning with a walk, but a strikeout, a flyout, and a lineout stranded him. And Dylan Francis, who has 2 strikeouts and 1 walk to his days so far, is 1 out away from making this a quick 4th inning. Toes the rubber and offers the first pitch to McNichols. Slapped back into the glove of Kamenko for strike 1. Middle infield playing a little bit deep out on the grass is Tanner Wright. And one of the reasons that he's playing that far back is because he's been slipping on the infield dirt. He told me yesterday that he's been playing on the grass because his initial jumps, the dirt has been catching him. The 0-1 pitch, called a ball, 1-1 the count. The infield here can be a little tricky at times. We've seen some rough bounces on both sides. 1-1 offering. Almost hitting McNichols. He jumps out of the way. 2-1 the count. From Santa Clara University. 6 big bombs on the season. Up there amongst the top in the CCL. 2-1 here from Francis as he offers. Missing low. 3-1 the count of McNichols, who swung and missed at the first pitch, has now worked his way into a 3-1 count. A good hitter's count here. But the way that Francis has been pitching, it's hard to say that any count is a hitter's count. Calmly offers the 3-1. Swung on and missed. A fastball blown by him. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 6 runs, 4 hits for the Oaks. No runs, no hits for the Packers. No errors on either side. A pretty clean baseball game fielding-wise so far. As Francis peers and fires the payoff pitch. Hit back against the screen, and we'll do it again. The Packers in their 18th game of the season, their 2nd year in the CCL, knocked out the Oaks last year in the semifinals of the playoffs. The Oaks played them in game number 1 and lost. Then in an elimination game, beat the Academy Barons, and in game 3, lost to the Packers 8-7. The Packers ended up losing the championship to the Orange County Riptide in 2 games. Payoff pitch 2.0. Swung and missed. McNichols goes down swinging. That's the 3rd for Francis. And we are through 4 innings now. The Oaks currently lead the Packers 6-0. We'll be back for the 5th inning after this on the Conejo Oaks Broadcasting Network.
Playing center field for Trent.
The semifinalists for the Golden Spikes Award given to the best player in college baseball, Chase Cockrell, steps in here. He did not win the award, but he was a semifinalist for it. Out of Ole Miss, the first pitch to him is on the outside corner for strike 1. Jared Noonan is back out for his 2nd inning of work. 3 runs, 3 hits, 2 walks, and a strikeout to his days so far. Cockrell's 0 for 1. That pitch misses low and away, 1-1 the count. Cockrell walked and scored in the 2nd and struck out in the 3rd. Look to continue what the Oaks have been doing all game long, which is hitting the ball and walking. 4 hits and 6 walks on the game. That pitch misses outside, 2-1 the count. Finding ways to get base runners on, regardless of how it's done, has been the story of the game so far today. And an Achilles heel for this team has been runners left on base. Only 3 so far on those 10 base runners. 2-1 pitch, misses low and away. 3-1 the count, and Cockrell has worked the count now to a hitter's count. In his 2nd year with the Oaks, batted just over 3-0. No, the check swing after on the late appeal, and they said he went around. That's going to change the count now and even it 2 balls and 2 strikes.
That's the latest appeal I've ever seen.
I feel like there should be a 3-second grace period, but after that, you lose your window. The 2-2 misses outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes, and the ball may not lie here. We'll see what Cockrell decides to do with a 3-2 count.
Originally, I did thought he went. I did think he went. But I would have thought they would have
Right, right off the bat, you would have appealed. Exactly.
And then they appeal like 5 seconds later.
There's an etiquette to it. 3-2 pitch, though, is swung on and missed. Strike 3, and Cockrell's down on strikes for his second time of the game. Jared Noonan strikes out his second batter. Cockrell isn't happy with that one as he slams his bat down on the ground and then on the fence. One away as Elijah Alexander steps in. He's 0 for 1 today with a walk, a run scored, and a fly out. But this time, getting the lefty-righty matchup that he liked. He had to face the lefty Holden Christian his first 2 at-bats. First pitch misses upstairs, 1-0 the count to him. A highly touted player at the University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley. Has been swinging the bat pretty well so far. Takes that pitch for a strike. He veered out of the way, though he may have been crowding a little bit. 1 ball, 1 strike. 6 runs, 4 hits for the Yokes. No runs, no hits for the Packers. No errors on either side here in the 5th inning. 1-1. That one hits him on the shoulder. Got away from Noonan. And he'll stride over to first base. The first hit batter that we've seen all game long.
First baseman number 26, Bart West.
Bart West now stepping in. 1 for 2 days so far. A single, a run scored, and a fly out. Got a 1-out single back in the 4th for the Yokes' second hit of the ball game. And we'll look to capitalize here with 1 on and only 1 away. Runner goes, pitches high. The throw is way off into center field, and Alexander is not going to test the arm of Luke Fagan, who was quickly backing up the second baseman, Brian Arias. And the Oaks have a runner in scoring position. The double play threat is now eliminated, and Elijah Alexander displaying the speed right there. 1-0 count here to West. Waves that bat high over his right shoulder. Alexander takes a comfortable lead off of second, though Arias is holding. Noonan offers. Up and in, ball 2.
And Alexander was thinking about taking third base there. A little bit of an edge to this Oaks team today, and I'm liking it.
2-0 in. Slap down the third base line, but foul. 2-1 in the count. And how about the coaching shakeup on the base paths for the Oaks? Head coach Solis is out playing third base, or third base head coach, or coach I should say, not playing third base. It would be funny to see him out there playing, but
he could still.
Oh, you know that he could go out there and play the field if he wanted to, but as a third base coach, not something we've seen in the last couple of years, as that pitch misses outside for ball 3, 3-1 the count. Brian Wilson moves over as the first base coach. The bench coach Joey Garcia, the longtime coach here for the Oaks, who normally does not play the field, was the first base coach yesterday and decided to take the day off and coach the bench. 3-1 pitch back against the screen, 3-2 the count. The Oaks are without Kyle Jones, their normal first base coach, and without Coach Max Weinstein, who has been with the team practicing to get signed, but is not playing, so he's been acting as a player coach. 3-2 count, 1 on. Noonan offers. Hit high into shallow left center field out of shortstop as Wesniak covers the sun with his glove and makes the catch for out number 2.
Los Angeles left fielder number 27, Michael Tillman.
2 away now here in the top of the 5th. Michael Tillman stepping in. He's 0 for 1, a walk and a strikeout. Tied for the team high now with 15 on the season. Bart West, the other man with 15 strikeouts on this team. Just popped out, though. Elijah Alexander takes a big lead off of second. Noonan deals the first pitch upstairs for ball 1. Recreation Park, founded in 1917, has been rebuilt a little bit, but the stands that we're sitting in have just gotten a fresh coat of paint and some outlets put into it. But other than that, the wood, which was actually used from the Healdsburg racetrack back in 1921, is the same. That pitch misses upstairs, 2-0 the count. So the historic stands that we're sitting in have been around since 1921. An incredible 97 years, I should say. 2-0 pitch. Upstairs, ball 3, and Noonan's missed 3 straight high here to Michael Tillman. Tillman will be playing for the Oaks head coach Dave Solis' alma mater at Cal State LA. Also his head coach at Pierce Junior College, Bill Pickett's his alma mater. 3-2 upstairs, ball 4. Tillman throws the bat over to first base and strides over to first base.
Cal Lutheran, second baseman.
And the Oaks have runners on first and second with 2 away here. Most of the damage so far in this game for the Oaks has been done with 2 outs. They got 2 runs in the 4th inning with 2 outs and 2 runs in the 2nd inning with 2 outs. 2 more runs came with 1 out back in that 4th inning. Runners on 1st and 2nd now for Tanner Wright. First pitch is in there for strike 1. Wright's 0 for 1 on the day with a pop out and a walk. Came around to score the 2nd run of the 4th inning. 0-1 pitch to him. Skied high to left center field. Toftelin makes his way for it and makes the catch for out number 3. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a pair stranded. We're through 4.5 here from Recreation Park in Healdsburg, California. The Oaks lead the Packers 6-0. Part 2 of the 5th inning taking place here in Healdsburg. The 3rd and final game of this 3-game series. The Packers took the first 2 games 11-4 and then 11-2. The Oaks, though, up here 6-0 as Dane Toftelin steps in. He's 0 for 1 so far today with a strikeout. Dylan Francis back out there as the check swing fouls off that ball for strike 1. 6 runs, 4 hits for the Oaks. No runs, no hits for the Packers. No errors on either side. Though the Packers yesterday put up 22 runs between the 2 games to the Oaks 6. They also had 27 hits between the 2 games. They had a phenomenal day of baseball on their end, though the Oaks trying to salvage a game here. The 0-1, called ball low, evens the count. Toftelin from Indiana State. We've seen a few Indiana State Sycamores in the CCL. Of course, Luke Fagan, his teammate on the Packers, leading off for this team, also goes there. Francis offers the 1-1. Slapped up the middle, over to right. Fields it cleanly over to first for out number 1.
Now batting University of California, 3rd baseman, number 24, Quentin Selma.
Quentin Selma, the Cal Golden Bears, stepping in. He gave the Oaks fits yesterday. In the 2nd game against the Oaks, he reached base 3 times, went 3 for 4 with a 3-run home run, 4 RBIs, and 2 singles. He also struck out once, but so far today, 0 for 1 with a pop out to left. Lefty on righty matchup. Francis has had the number of these Packers all game long. We'll see how long this outing will last for him. The first pitch, swung on and missed for strike 1.
And what has elevated Francis today from what has already been a great season is his ability to throw that changeup for a get-me-over strike. That has just been so difficult for the Packers to handle.
0-1. Misses upstairs. 1 ball and 1 strike now. Francis from Cal Poly Pomona. He was on the Ventura Halos last season along with Michael Tillman. But the Halos were absolved before the season started, and Francis made his way over to the Caneo Oaks. The 1-1. popped up down the left field line. Lewis making his way to it in foul territory, and that ball is going to drop into no man's land. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. The Packers' lone CCL loss so far this season, they are 4-1 in the league, was an 11-7 loss against the Santa Barbara Foresters. They also beat the Slow Blues in a 2-game series, and the Oaks so far in a 2-game series. Today, though, being game number 3 of the series, the Oaks trying to salvage a game. Currently sitting in last place in the CCL, though every team has played a different amount of CCL games, and so the numbers are a bit skewed, though 3-8, not a good start. 1-2 pitch turns 2-2 on a ball outside. And Quentin Selma trying to stay alive in this at-bat with 1 away. His Cal teammate Sam Wesniak waiting on deck. Francis deals the 2-2. Swung and missed. Selma was off balance. Strike 3, the 4th strikeout on the game for Dylan Francis, and that's out number 2 up on the board. Two-seamer up and away, had Selma missing all of it, and Francis has been dealing so far. 1 walk and 4 strikeouts, no other stats to his game so far. Sam Wesniak will look to change that, though. He's 0 for 1 today with a line out stepping in.
What a nasty at-bat that was.
0-0 is lined up right into center field, and that's the first hit of the ball game here for the Prune Packers. It comes in the bottom of the 5th inning with 2 outs. Sam Wesniak reaches first base, and the Packers inning stays alive here for Cade Peters out of UC Riverside.
And how ironic is it that the hitter struggling most for the Packers breaks the no-hit bid for Dylan Francis. He took the longest no-hitter of the season, or he maintained his no-hitter longer than any other Oak starter this season.
Wesniak was 2 for 10 yesterday, 2 for 11 going into his first at-bat today, but broke the streak there of 6 consecutive at-bats without a base hit. It's the first pitch into Peters, drops low for ball 1.
And oftentimes as a starting pitcher, when you give up your first hit, it's a little bit disappointing. So let's see how Francis can recover from that.
Francis's composure has been pro level, not only today but all season long, as that 1-0 pitch is at the belt for strike 1. His composure, his durability, his intuition, and his stamina has been one of the reasons that he's been one of the most effective CCL pitchers this season. Checks the runner at first. Pearson fires the 1-1. Slapped foul back off the glove of Kamenko. Francis is now ahead of Peters. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Recreation Park here is a publicly owned park in the heart of Healdsburg. Home to many different recreation leagues, as well as the Healdsburg Greyhounds, the high school here. They also play their football games on this field. The goalpost out over the right field foul line. Of course, the bleachers in the press box for those games out in right field. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pitch is in. Cracked right into right field. Rounding second and staying is Sam Wesniak. A pair of singles here with 2 outs puts Healdsburg in business. They still trail 6-0, but now they have a runner in scoring position. Another one at first base, and Cole Barnansky stepping in.
Better be careful here if you are Dylan Francis. You don't want to leave one hanging here, or else it'll be a 6-3 ball game.
Barnansky came in yesterday after Wendell Champion went out in the first inning after being hit by a pitch. He struck out twice and popped out in his 3 at-bats in the second game. But in the first game in the 8th spot, he went 0 for 4. So an 0 for 7 days so far yesterday. He's 0 for 1 today. Looking for his first hit of the series, and head coach Dave Solis is going to stride out to the pitcher's mound.
Let's see if Solis trusts his ace and let them stay in for one more hitter to get one more out.
The entire infield is in. And with a 6-0 lead and 2 on with 2 away, you have to expect that Francis will be able to at least finish out the inning. Solis doesn't like to pull out pitchers with 2 outs unless he absolutely has to. His 11th year with the team, 6th year as head coach. also serving as the pitching coach, and Francis will stay out there. He has accumulated a reputation as one of those well-versed coaches, not only in the CCL, but in summer collegiate play. Started his coaching career at Cal State LA, moved over to Rio Mesa High School 19 years ago, and has been a resounding head coach for the Rio Mesa Spartans for those 19 seasons. And he's also completely turned around the Conejo Oaks when he took over and made them to an elite summer collegiate baseball team in the California Collegiate League. The meeting's over, and we're back to baseball. Runners on first and second and 2 away for Cole Brodnansky out of Santa Rosa Junior College. Francis deals the 0-0. Swung on a miss for strike one. It was a half-hearted swing there by Brodnansky and a speeder right at his knees. A couple of pigeons flew overhead. Beautiful area. Green with trees, and not something that you could say for the greater part of California. We're in the heart of wine country. Francis checks the runner at second. The 0-1. Skied foul down towards that goalpost out on the right field line. 0-2 the count. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 away and 2 on. 6 runs, 4 hits for the Oaks. No runs, 2 hits for the Packers. No errors on either side in the bottom of the 5th inning. The Oaks have the 8+ hour bus ride home after this game. They'll be headed straight home from Healdsburg. Day off tomorrow. A much needed and well-deserved day off for this team. Back home on Tuesday. The 0-2. Popped up into foul territory, though out of play once again. Give you a reiteration of the Oaks field from right to left. Michael Spears, DJ Alexander, and Michael Tillman out in the outfield. Bart West at first, Hannah Wright at second. Sam Shaken at short. Brandon Lewis at third, and Zach Kamenko, the catcher in today's game. Dylan Francis, the starter, still out there trying to forge his way through the final out of this inning. Brodnansky ready in the batter's box. The 0-2. Misses in the dirt. Good block, though, by Kamenko. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Kamenko sporting the red leather UNLV glove. Way back there in the fall. And he's been a very good catcher for the Oaks for behind the plate so far this season. Getting dirty, not afraid to get in front of these bouncing balls. Comes set on the mound is Francis and deals the 1-2. Missing low once again. Count is even now to Brodnansky. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away, and 2 on. In what's been a long 5th inning here on the Healdsburg side. After they went 1-2-3 the first, the third, and the 4th innings of this game. Francis taking his time, trying to remain in control of this at-bat. The Oaks have all the momentum up 6-0, though the Packers have been able to muster a couple of hits with 2 away. The 2-2 in. Missing low, and after an 0-2 count, Brodnansky has taken 3 straight pitches. And he's worked the count now to full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. The runners will be going on this pitch. And we'll see here how it plays out. Francis taking his time as it looks like Nick Ringcover will jog back out to the Oaks bullpen. The southpaw from Glendale City College may get a couple of warm-up tosses. We'll see, though, who head coach Solis decides to bring in once this inning concludes. Francis takes a breath, checks the runners. Payoff pitch, runners go. That one slapped up into right field. Making his way to it, though, is Spears, and he makes the catch for out number 3. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and a pair left on base. We're through 5 full here from the Recreation Park in Healdsburg, California. The Oaks lead the Packers 6-0 right here on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. New pitcher on the mound here is Griffin Hanting for the Packers. Welcome back, everybody. The Oaks up 6-0. Kamenko will lead things off as the first pitch is low for ball one. Jared Noonan's day is done. 1 2/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 3 runs. All were earned. 3 walks and 2 strikeouts. Another southpaw in now for the Prune Packers. The second of the game, Holden Christian was the first one as Kamenko swings and misses at that pitch. Evens the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Adding from the University of Houston, just finished up his freshman season there. Offers the 1-1. Called a ball low, 2-1 the count. The third pitcher of the day, Holden Christian started. 3 1/3. Jared Noonan went 1 2/3 and now Hanting in. They want 2-1, slapped into left field, and that's going to drop for a single. Kamenko is now 2 for 2 on the day with a pair of singles, 2 RBIs, a walk, and a run scored. Talk about production in the 9-hole. The Oaks have a runner on now with nobody away in the top of the 6th inning.
Heat up Zach Kamenko, 2 for 2 today. Also a walk. He's done a great job. Also behind the plate, he's handled Dylan Francis very well today.
Griffin Hanting in 5 2/3 innings pitched as a 0 ERA. 8 strikeouts, 4 walks, and only 1 hit as that one is slapped up the middle, fielded by Wozniak and tossed over to second, over to first in time on the unassisted 6-3 double play. What a play by the Cal Golden Bear shortstop, Sam Wozniak.
Indeed, wow. That was so impressive. The jump throw over to first, looking like Derek Jeter over there. What a play.
Sam shaken. He's now 1 for 4 on the day. Brandon Lewis stepping in. He's 1 for 2, a walk, a pop out, and a 2 RBI double back in the 4th inning. Oaks up 6-0. Southpaw deals the first pitch upstairs for ball 1. Reiteration of the Packers field from right to left in the outfield: Ryan Ruley, Luke Fagan, and Daniel Toftelin. Kate Peters at first, Brian Arias at second, Sam Wozniak at short, Quentin Selma at third. The 1-0 pitch hacked at it, missed, 1-1 the count. Cole Bronowski behind the dish, and the third pitcher of the day in Hatning on the mound here for the Packers. That pitch missing, 2-1 the count now to Brandon Lewis, headed to UC Irvine. He was committed to CSUN early last year, decommitted, played another year at Pearson, is now headed to the Anteaters in the fall. The 2-1 popped up to left center field, going back, and it drops off the wall and goes over for a ground rule double. It's such a weird setting out here. It actually hit off the fence out in center field and then went over the wall. They're saying it didn't bounce onto the field, so I'm confused why that's not ruled a home run. But they're going to give it a ground rule double to Brandon Lewis instead. Very gray area rules for what is deemed a ground rule double versus a home run here at Recreation Park, and I think that that's something that needs to be discussed with the CCL because there's way too much confusion. We've seen too much confusion with home runs versus ground rule doubles here in the first 3 games that we've played, and you can bet that other teams who come up here are also confused by that rule. To reiterate, Brandon Lewis hit the ball off of the deepest part in center field, off the top of the fence, and then the ball bounced not off the field, but just over the center field fence after hitting the left fence, which is higher, and they ruled it a ground rule double. 0-0 pitch misses away to Michael Spears for ball 1. He's 0 for 3 today, a pair of groundouts and a flyout. Lewis just chalked up his second double of the day. He's 2 for 3. 2 away, 1 on. Michael Spears settling in as Hensing checks the runner and offers the 1-0 outside, 2-0 the count. 6 runs, 6 hits for the Oaks. No runs, 2 hits, no errors on either side for the Packers. Chase Cockrell waiting on deck, the 2-0. Inside and low, 3-0 the count here to Mr. Spears. Started off the season 0-18. Coming into yesterday's game, he was 5 for 13 after that point, which was good for 385, and he had a pretty productive day. An RBI in the first game, and in the second game, reached base twice, once by a walk and once by a single. The 3-1, though, is cut on a miss. Now it's 3-1. That was 3-0 pitch. Three balls, 1 strike. Brandon Lewis taking a substantial lead off of second base with nobody holding him. Hatting toes the rubber, checks the runner, peers and fires the 3-1. Slapped foul right off of the knee of Brodnansky, and that one has to hurt as he takes a seat on the bench. Michael Spears looks down at him and asks him if he's okay, and Brodnansky will shake it off and take his position back behind home plate. 3 balls and 2 strikes to count.
Yeah, always. It never feels good to take a foul ball off of you. Doesn't matter how much padding you have, it still hurts.
Payoff pitch here looming for Hatting as he takes his time on the rubber. Checks Lewis and offers. Upstairs, ball 4. Spears works his way to a 6-pitch walk.
Number 35, Chase
That's
Cockrell.
the Oaks' 8th walk drawn on the game through the first 6 innings, the most that they've drawn all season long. Puts runners on first and second for the big Ole Miss slugger, Chase Cockrell. He's 0 for 2 today, a pair of strikeouts, a walk, and a run scored. Very uncharacteristic for him. Wide stance in the batter's box. The first pitch. Hit up down the right side, but foul. 0-1 the count. Cockrell in his second year with the Oaks. Just finished up his sophomore season at Ole Miss. Was an everyday starter for the team in the DH spot. Batted .324 with 8 home runs. The 0-1. A strike at the belt. A beautiful off-speeder had Cockrell looking. No balls and 2 strikes now for Hatton. Hatton trying to work the count here against Cockrell. Very hard to get out ahead of him because he normally swings at those strikes. Though now facing an 0-2 count. Hatton deals. This is outside. Ball gets away from Brodnansky, and all runners will advance. Spears to second, Lewis to third. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Cockrell. Now 2 runners in scoring position. Call that a wild pitch. Brodnansky having conversation, and now Coach Gomes will come out and have a conversation with Hatting as well. They just need 1 more strike to get Cockrell out. They need 1 more out to be out of the inning. Top of the 6th inning, that is. And the Packers are hoping to get their offense back up quickly to try to salvage some of the lead that the Oaks have built here. 6-0 the score. A deficit not undoable for the Packers, a team that has been swinging the bat very well as of late. Only 1 loss on the season so far, that lone loss to the Santa Barbara Foresters. 16-1 overall, 4-1 in the CCL. Back to baseball now as the meeting breaks. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 away. Hatting checks Spears. 1-2 pitch. Slapped foul towards the dugout of the Packers. We'll do it again. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Cockrell very composed. Doesn't show a lot of emotion in general, though the last time he struck out back in the 5th inning, he slammed his bat against the fence. An uncharacteristic show of emotion there for him. One-two offering. Curveball missing way inside. Evens the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. It Started up towards the strike zone, but dropped very far inside, and Cockrell took it.
What a take from Cockrell. I wanted to swing at that one.
It's hard not to, especially on the break. That ball was up near the shoulder in the strike zone. A beautiful pitch, but just couldn't find the zone in the end. Batting offers the 2-2. Hit off the end of the bat, foul, and we'll do it again. Hope everybody's enjoying their Sunday morning, almost afternoon baseball now as we hit an hour and 55 minute of the game. .55 the time. Game started at 10 o'clock. No matter how you're watching, where you're watching, we appreciate you making this a part of your Sunday plans. 2-2 pitch. Cockrell pops it up, but out of play. For the third straight time, the count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Elijah Alexander looming on deck if the inning extends that far with 2 outs.
What an at-bat from Chase Cockrell right here. Staying alive, fouling pitches off, just waiting for that pitch that's hanging right in the zone that he can drive.
Adding likes the sign from Brodnunski, gives him a nod, toes the rubber, peers and fires the 2-2 in the dirt. Ball 3, and Cockrell, who was down in the count 1 ball and 2 strikes, has fouled up a couple tough pitches, has worked his way back to a full count now. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 away, 2-1 in a 6-0 ball game. The Oaks trying to tack on a few more insurance runs if they can. But first, a payoff pitch. Hit foul once again down the right field line. Count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. 9th pitch of that bat pending here against Cockrell. He has been fighting off some tough pitches. It is a batter-pitcher duel right now, and we'll see who ends up winning it. Adding doing a great job staying composed against Cockrell, not shying away. 9 pitches, especially to a slugger like this, is a lot. Payoff pitch 2.0. Hit high to left field, going back, and it hits the fence. Lewis scores, rounding third and coming home is Spears, having trouble without left is Toftelin. And Chase Cockrell on the 9th pitch of the at-bat doubles in 2 more runs. It's an 8-0 lead here for the Oaks with a runner on second and 2 outs in the top of the 6th inning.
How about that RBI double from Chase Cockrell? Patiently waiting his pitch, fouling off bad ones. He finally got his pitch, and he did not miss it, and he never misses those. You don't hang pitches to Chase Cockrell and expect to get away with them. He knows how to do damage.
There was a reason he was named a semifinalist for College Player of the Year. It's for at-bats like that, making something out of nothing. He was down in the count, worked his way back, and on the 9th pitch, take a way out here. Elijah Alexander now stepping in. He's 0 for 1 with a pair of walks. Slaps that one up the middle. Wesniak on the second hop, fires it over to first for out number 3. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. The Oaks take an 8-0 lead here in the top half of the 6th inning. 1, 2, and 3 hitters due up here for the Packers when we come back on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. The Indiana State Sycamore, Luke Fagan, leads things off here for the Healdsburg Prune Packers, trailing 8-0 in the bottom of the 6th inning. Welcome back, everybody. Jordan Brenner, myself, Jonathan Rifkin, on hand for you in game number 3 of the weekend series against the Packers. Packers took the first 2 games 11-2 and 11-4. The Oaks, though, up 8-0 right now. Dylan Francis back out there for his 6th inning of work. He has been incredible so far as that pitch misses outside for ball 1. 2 hits, no runs, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts to his day so far. Luke Fagan at the top of the order. A catalyst of one of those strikeouts as he pops that one up. Over to third base, into position is Lewis, shielding the sun from his eyes. He makes the catch for out number 1.
From Loyola Marymount University, right fielder, number 4.
Fagan's now 0 for 3 on the day out. Besides that strikeout, he has a ground out to third, now a pop out to third. And Ryan Ruley out of Loyola Marymount University, the Lions, will step in. He's 0 for 2, a grounder to shortstop, and a fly out to center in those 2 at-bats. Packers have gotten only 2 hits so far today by way of Sam Wesniak and Cade Peters with 2 outs in the 5th. Francis offers the first pitch outside for ball 1.
And I like that Coach Solis trusts Francis, gives him that 6th inning. Because the 6th inning is the difference between a collegiate pitcher and a professional pitcher.
If he completes the 6th inning, it will be the longest an Oak starter has gone all season. That pitch, a strike at the belt, 1-1 the count.
There's a reason why a quality start is not 5 innings and 3 runs, but 6 innings and 3. Or maybe it is 5 innings.
It is 5 innings, because
okay.
a pitcher of record, in majors at least, is 5 innings.
All right, scratch whatever I just said.
1-1. Line down the left field line, but foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. But to your point, you're not wrong, because if you can go past the first 5 innings and still pitch into the 6th inning, then you are having a quality start, obviously, if they haven't pulled you after the first 5 innings. So I wouldn't say you're wrong. I think you're actually right.
It just seems as though when you can get to the 6th inning, you separate yourself
from the rest of the pack because you're already into the latter half of the ballgame with the lead.
Absolutely.
1-2 pitch, misses up and away, evens the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Handful of fans here in the Packers crowd in our wooden bleachers that have been up since 1921. They were built from the original Sonoma racetrack that was built in 1918 as that pitch misses low and away, 3-2 the count. In 1918, the Sonoma racetrack was built. They had to tear it down because the ownership group lost money, and they brought the wood over to here and built the stands. Francis now with a 3-2 count up on the board. Ruley trying to draw a walk or at least get a pitch he likes. Francis offers the payoff pitch. Swung and missed. Ruley goes down swinging. That's the 5th strikeout on the day for Francis. And that high fastball has been an Achilles heel for the Prune Packers in this ballgame. Brian Arias now stepping in the 3 spot. The San Antonio Roadrunner is 0 for 2. A ground out to the first base side and a pop out to short in his 2 at-bats. Dylan Francis looking to continue his great start here. 2 away, first pitch. Low and inside for ball 1. Cal Poly Pomona pitcher. Pitches like he plays for some of the best teams in the country with the way that he has been handling batters that he's faced all season long. Now in his 3rd start. That 1-0 pitch, though, is popped up and out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike. He pitched a week ago against the Academy Barons. The Oaks won that game 9-1. That was their last win the last win, I should say. They're on a 4-game losing streak now, and Francis in that game went 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts. The 1-1. Right through the glove of Francis. 2-1 the count now. This 4-game losing streak is the longest losing streak by a Conejo Oaks team in over 3 years. We'll see if they can snap it here. They're certainly trying, up 8-0 right now. Francis toes the rubber, peers and fires the 2-1. Missing low. Good eye there from Brian Arias. 3-1 the count. Arias taking a couple of practice swings. Comes set for Francis. The 3-1. Cracked foul back towards the dugout of the Healdsburg Prune Packers. Full count now for the second straight batter. Rulli had a full count back in the last at-bat, but struck out swinging. Francis trying to chalk up number 6 if he can. Only 1 walk and 2 hits to his day so far. 8 runs, 7 hits for the Oaks. No runs, 2 hits for the Packers. No errors on either side. And the Pomona product offers the payoff pitch. Missing low and away, ball 4, and Arias draws a 2-out walk here for the Packers. Second walk that Francis has given up all day long. And there's a runner on first now for Jake McNichols, the only other batter to walk. And head coach Dave Solis is going to stride out to the mound. He tips his cap, which means that Dylan Francis's day may very well be done. Doesn't look like he wants to come out. Solis may leave him out there for one more batter. Normally the tip of the cap means, though, let's bring in the new batter, or the new pitcher, excuse me. But green cover is waiting down that third base line. And it looks like Francis will stand there. Ring cover still standing at that third, or the right field line, my mistake. But he will stride back into the seating area for pitchers here. Not coming in. He was waiting for the signal. No signal, though, as head coach Solis allows Dylan Francis to try to play out this one last batter and Jake McNichols.
I love what Coach Solis just did, giving Francis the chance to defend his right to finish this 6th inning.
McNichols is 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a walk. Hacks at that one and misses for strike 1. Brian Arias over at first was able to extend the inning by way of a 3-2 count that turned into a ball 4 on a pitch that missed away. Takes a 1.5 lead off of first base. Bart West is holding him. And Francis deals the 0-1. Another swing and a miss for McNichols, 0-2 the count.
Unloading the tank right now, Francis, giving the Oaks whatever he has.
2 high fastballs, 2 swung and misses. 0-2 count now. Runner on first, 2 away. Packers trying to mend some of the deficit as the 0-2 pitch is popped up behind the plate. Kamenko makes a slide but can't make the catch. No balls, 2 strikes. The count remains. Most of the Oaks are in the dugout. Yesterday they vacated the dugout because of, number 1, how hot it was, and number 2, the lack of space down there. And when you have a bunch of players smushed together in 100-plus weather, the last thing you want is to be in that situation. So those players mostly vacated the dugout yesterday, though. Today enjoying the bunker-like setting. The 0-2. Hit up, popped up behind the plate once again. Kamenko at the fence. Makes the catch, diving backwards for out number 3. Well done there by the UNLV catcher to secure the out and get us out of the 6th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base. A walk, though. Excuse me, actually 1 runner left on base on the walk. 8-0 the score here. We're through 6 full. The Oaks up over the Packers, trying to take game number 3 of the series. 7, 8, 9. The final 3 innings after this on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. Bart West leads things off here for the Oaks to begin the 7th inning. They are up 8-0. My name is Jonathan Rifkin for play-by-play of the final 3 innings of the ball game. My broadcasting partner, Jordan Brenner.
Much appreciated, Jonathan. Great job today. First pitch into West, a fastball off the plate away. 1-0 from Griffin Hadding. The second southpaw seen today. Sets and offers. 1-0 pitch. Ground ball over to third base. Selma Fields over to first in time to get West by a couple steps for the first out of the inning.
Left fielder number 27, Michael Tillman.
Michael Tillman next up. On the day, 0 for 1. A couple walks. A strikeout victim. Swinging in the 4th.
Correction. For Pierce College, number 21, Jonathan.
Oh, excuse me. We're going to have a pinch hitter. That looks like Tyler Ryan at the plate.
It's Tyler Ryan. He's wearing Jonathan Lavallee's number, so there is some confusion. Normally number 34, though today wearing number 21.
Correction, University of Pacific, Tyler Ryan.
Tyler Ryan digs in out of the University of Pacific. Hit about 270 there this past year. The 1-0 pitch. Outside taken. Now 1-0.
It's funny that he's wearing that number because it was unannounced that he would switch his number. Will Pickett's another pinch hitter waiting on deck, but the number switch confusing some people.
1-0 pitch. Ryan checks his swing in time. 2-0. Ryan started the first game of the doubleheader yesterday. Played left field. He walked and went 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts and a flyout. Next pitch. Taken 3-0. Well, it was more of a pop out in the infield. Outfield shaded pretty straight away for Ryan off the bench. The 3-0 pitch in. Taken ball 4 in the dirt, and Ryan heads to first base with the walk. That is the 9th walk that the Oaks have earned today. And I say earned because they have been so patient at the plate. They have worked counts so well. They really did earn 9 walks. Next hitter, the second baseman, Tanner Wright out of Cal Lutheran. On the day, he is 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Oh, this looks like a pinch hitter as well.
Yeah, Will Pickett's.
Will Pickett's is going to step in. Coach Solis giving everybody at-bats on the long road trip. First pitch in the dirt, blocked behind the plate by Brodnansky. 1-0. Will Pickett's, in yesterday's nightcap, was hitless.
His father, Bill, in the crowd, making his way over behind the fence to watch his son take some swings.
Next pitch. Another called ball, 2-0.
That is if the bat ever leaves the shoulder.
Yeah. Hating, just like his teammates, struggling to find the zone right now. 2 balls, no strikes. Pickett's digs in. He is known to be one of the more patient hitters on this team. Next pitch. High drive, center field. Not deep enough to do any damage. The center fielder, Fagan, makes the play, throws back into the infield, and Ryan has to retreat back to first base. Zach Kamenko, the next hitter. No, another pinch hitter. This time,
Number 11,
Bryce Vitt.
Bryce Vitt is going to step in, taking the place of Zach Kamenko, who had a great day at the plate. Finished the day 2 for 2, a walk, a run scored, and 2 RBIs. Bryce Vitt digs in there for his first at-bat of the afternoon. First pitch, down low and in, 1-0. Sam Shaken is on deck. We'll see if he gets to hit or another pinch hitter is employed here.
No, Sam Shaken will get to hit if this inning continues because he's on deck. Normally the pinch hitters will warm up here. That's what Solis likes to do.
Vitt went 0 for 3 with a walk yesterday. Next pitch, call the ball. 2-0.
And so some fielding changes we'll see on the Oak side, I guess. Kamenko's will be done. Vitt will be the catcher. Out and left will be Tyler Ryan, and Will Pickett's will be at second.
2-1 pitch, kicks and offers. Low again, 3-1. 3-0. Here's the 3-0 pitch. Inside, taken, ball 4. 2 walks in the inning. And the Oaks couple on with 1 out now.
Now 10 walks drawn in the game. That is a big difference from the 4 that they had, or the 5 that they had between the 2 games yesterday. And the first time all season long that they've walked into double digits. This is a good sign from this offense, showing the patience, working the counts, and also putting the ball in play when they have the pitches that they like to see.
Sam Shakin steps in, but first a mound meeting between Cole Brodnansky and his pitcher, Griffin Hadding. Shakin today, and ground out a pop out, a double, a run scored, and a 6-5 double play. 6-3 double play. Sometimes my handwriting isn't too clean, Jonathan. Something I got to work on.
That's a better excuse than, oh, I just can't count.
I do pretty well in math.
I agree with you. I think you're pretty good, pretty astute young fellow.
Thank you. First pitch to Shakin in the dirt, 1-0.
I, on the other hand, did not do well in math.
As has been a common talking point on this broadcast.
Which is why we have a statistician in our fellow friend Jacob Black, because I'm someone inept in that field of study.
1-0 pitch. Kicking the pitch. Foul tip behind home plate, 1-1.
But anyways, about baseball, Sam Shakin has been pretty good so far, 1 for 4 as you mentioned, but in the positions with 2 away and runners on, he has been even more stellar in this season. The clutch that comes with Sam Shakin knows no bounds.
The 1-1 pitch in just a second, adding a long view into his catcher, Brodnansky. Now the pitch. Called a strike, 1-2 to Shakin.
And that's the pitch you have to hit. A frisbee curveball right over the heart of the plate. Drops at the belt. Shakin thought maybe it would drop a little bit further or not drop enough. But if you're a hitter, you have to recognize where that ball will end up and hit it on the seams if you can.
The 1-2 pitch. The red hot Brandon Lewis on deck. The pitch swung on and missed. Strike 3 to Sam Shakin to end the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. A couple left on base for the Oaks. No matter, they lead 8-0. We're through 6.5 from Recreation Park. You're watching Oaks Baseball on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network.
1955, the first home Coughlin.
Dane Coughlin, the first hitter in this bottom of the 7th inning. Dylan Francis's day is over, and what a performance it was. 6 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. A beautiful day. Nick Ringcover from Pierce Community College in to relieve his duties. First pitch, outside, just off the corner, 1-0. Ringcover kicks and fires the 1-0 pitch. Off speed, called a strike. Ringcover on the year in 5 appearances. He has an 0-1 record, a 4.76 ERA, and 5 2/3 innings pitched, and 8 strikeouts. The 1-1 pitch from Ringcover peers in, winds and delivers. Fastball caught the corner, 1-2. Dane Coughlin, the hitter in there, 333, no home runs, 9 RBIs, 0 for 2 today, with a strikeout and a groundout. 1-2 pitch. Foul tip back to the screen. A weary swing, a little bit of a scared swing as the fastball came in on the hands. 1-2.
Yeah, Ringcover extends out over his body. That 2-seamer will look like it's going to come in on the hands, but actually break back into the strike zone sometimes.
1-2 pitch off speed. Curves down and in, 2-2. 8 runs on 7 hits, no errors for the visiting Conejo Oaks. No runs, 2 hits, no errors for the Healdsburg Prune Packers. 2-2 pitch. In the dirt, good block from Vitt, 3-2. And Ringcover came walking off the mound. Not sure if he's shaken up or just taking a breather. Seems to be fine. Back on the rubber. Full count pitch to Coughlin on its way. Curveball, high fly ball in foul territory. Lewis over to have a look. And foul territory makes the running play for the first out of the inning. Good play over there by Lewis at third.
He is subtly very athletic. He is leading the team in stolen bases. He's a big man, so you don't think, well, this guy can run. But he's explosive, especially out of his position at third base. Right there, catching up to a tough fly ball deep into foul territory and able to glove it to secure out number 1 here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Next hitter up, Quinton Selma, the lefty on lefty matchup. Curveball taken for a ball away, 1-0. Selma, quiet day so far, just like many of his teammates. 0 for 2, a fly out to left field, a strikeout as well. 1-0 pitch. Now 2-0 on the curveball away. Oaks, so valuable to have 2 left-handed pitchers out of the bullpen. You never know when you will need a lefty specialist down the road. The 2-0 pitch, fastball, swung on, lifted into medium deep left field. In to make the grab is Tillman to record the out. Actually, we're going to have a new left fielder in left field making the play. Tyler Ryan.
Remember, Bryce Vitt is also behind the plate. Will Pickett's over at second.
New hitter, Sam Wesniak from Cal. Digs in. First pitch from Ringcover, a fastball on the corner. The inside part of the plate, 0-1. The 0-1 offering with 2 out in the inning, nobody on. A line drive out to center field. Alexander rotates over, makes the play. I think we also have a new center fielder in. That was not announced.
Looks like Andrew Lucas.
Yeah, looks like Andrew Lucas. Either way, no runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base on the in the 1-2-3 inning for Ringcover. 8-0 Oaks through 7 full innings. We'll be right back. You're watching Oaks Baseball and Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. The top of the 8th begins with the bat of Brandon Lewis, arguably the most productive Conejo Oak today. A grand roll double his last time up, had home run distance in almost any other yard in the CCL. Also a double in the 4th, a pop out in the 3rd, and a walk in the 1st. First pitch to Lewis taken upstairs and away, 1-0. And I think Brandon Lewis is starting to thrive in the 2-hole. Seeing a little bit more pitches to hit with the protection behind him and in front of him as he fouls off the 1-0 pitch, and now it's 1-1. Looks like Bailey Holbrook is grabbing a bat. Looks like he might pinch hit for Chase Cockrell after Spears hits. The 1-1 pitch. Ground ball over the left side, out of play.
And Coach Lee's almost barehanded. He actually hit off his hand. He really tried to show off the stuff that he had out there at the third base coach, but just couldn't grab it. And he's pretty happy with himself for at least trying. He observed his hand right after, but glad he's okay.
Got to move your feet, coach, if you want to make that play. 1-2, ground ball left side, foul again. We'll do 1 and 2 again.
Well, it's not that he didn't move his feet. That ball was just scorching, and when he tried to hit it with his hand, he was in position. You could actually hear the slap off the skin from out here, and the entire Oaks dugout made a little bit of an ooh. Talked about yesterday how he was a dent in his femur from Ryan Healy, just another battle scar for the coach.
1-2 to Lewis. Inside, curveball, it hit him, just scraped his pants, so he'll head over to first base again on the hit by pitch. Next up, Michael Spears.
University of Mississippi, number 18, Michael
Spears out of Ole Miss. Today, 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. On deck, I was right. Bailey Holbrook grabbing a bat. Lewis takes his lead off of first base. Haddon gets a sign, checks Lewis over at first. Winds and delivers. A ground ball over the shortstop, fielded Wesniak. To second base, Arias back to first. Peters not in time to get Spears on the double play. Peters stretched. And the Packers think that the first baseman got the relay in time. But either way, a 6-4 putout.
Well, the argument is that Peters over at first still had his foot on the bag when he extended. I didn't see the play. The umpire said that he came off the bag and then put his foot back on the bag, and Peters was holding his foot on the bag as if his foot never moved. So that is just an unfortunate play if you're the Packers.
So Bailey Holbrook digs in with an out in the inning and a runner on. He's batting from the right side of the plate as there is a lefty on the mound. First pitch line down the right field line, just foul. And that would have been such a big hit for Holbrook, who has been dealing with injuries this whole season, has not been hitting his best. But a good swing there, 0-1.
He is batting from the right side, the side he is more comfortable swinging the bat from. Facing a lefty pitcher, something that not normally is done.
The 0-1 pitch, Spears takes a big lead off of first base. The delivery on the outside corner, 0-2. On deck is new center fielder Andrew Lucas, pinch hitting for Elijah Alexander. Well, actually, he came in to relieve Alexander of his defensive duties. The 0-2 pitch, good block behind the plate by Brodnansky, 1-2. Oxen fires the 1-2 pitch. Gets a little bit away from the catcher. Brodnansky throws to second base and cannot get Spears in time. Spears advances to second base on the wild pitch. So now 2 balls, 2 strikes to Holbrook and out in the inning, and a runner in scoring position. Hadding, staring at his catcher, finally agrees on the sign with Brodnansky. Checks the runner and the offering. Swung on and missed. And Holbrook down on strikes, swinging. The new hitter is Andrew Lucas. High schooler.
Northridge, number 5, Andrew Lucas.
Lucas grabs a bat. His first at bat, Elijah Alexander walked in an 0 for 2 appearance. He also was hit by a pitch. Andrew Lucas hitting .316, a home run, and 7 RBIs. In what has primarily been a bench role this year. First pitch to Lucas, taken downstairs, 1-0. He has had his fair share of spot starts. And the majority of those RBIs came on a grand slam earlier in the season off the bench.
And his first ever at-bat.
I'm not sure if it was off the bench.
It wasn't off the bench. He started in center field the first game against the SoCal Cubs, and in his first ever at-bat as a collegiate player, hit a grand slam.
1-0 pitch to Lucas. Thrown right by him, 1-1. Bart West on deck. If the inning gets to that point. 1-1 offering from Hadding. First to check of the runner. Here's the pitch. Down low, 2-1. And it's always nice if the Oaks can hold on to this one to endure a long bus ride after a win as opposed to a loss.
Your mentality is completely different. Instead of the grueling 8 hours, it'll be a little bit more exciting 8 hours.
2-1 pitch. Down low, 3-1. A lot of Major League Baseball players will talk about how their worst experiences as a player are the cross-country flights after a loss.
Or even in the minors when they're not even flying, they're taking Greyhound buses for
Right.
12 hours at a time. And if you're on a losing team, it makes it that much worse.
3-1 pitch. Lucas skies one inside the infield behind the plate. The catcher Brodnansky over to have a look, but out of play. Catches a piece of the tree and leaves fall down. The count is full. We'll give you a reiteration of the Oaks defense when we come back for the top of the 8th inning. The bottom of the 8th inning. Lucas digs right back in there. Spears off of second base, advanced on the pass ball. Or the wild pitch. Excuse me, it was the wild pitch. 3-2 pitch. A blooper out to left field, a little bit foul and out of play. It dropped over the glove of Quinton Selma, who had a look.
Yeah, good attempt by Selma. Tried doing a little skip, hop, and a jump to it, but couldn't muster it into his glove. 3 balls and 2 strikes. The count remains here to Lucas, who's doing a good job fighting off some tough pitches and trying to wait for that pitch that he likes or a pitch that he doesn't like and take it for ball 4.
3-2. Spears reached first base on the 6-4 fielder's choice. The full count pitch from Hadding. Foul back to the screen again. What an at-bat from Andrew Lucas, fighting off numerous pitches.
Yeah, 8th pitch pending here of the at-bat, and the last time we saw a long at-bat, it was Chase Cockrell back in that 6th inning. He had a 9-pitch at-bat where he roped one out on a 3-2 count into left center field for a double and drove in 2 runs.
Hadding sets at the belt. Pauses, checks the runner, and the pitch. Upstairs, a walk from Andrew Lucas. He reaches first base. And a really great at-bat off the bench. He always gives you his best effort when he comes in to hit.
How about 11 walks now for the Oaks? Not only that, but they've gotten 4 here from Hadding, 3 from Noonan, and 4 from Christian. The patience has been key all day, and it's paying off.
New hitter Bart West. West has 2 walked and a hit by pitch today. Swings at the first pitch, a shallow fly ball to center field. Fagan makes the catch to end the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. 2 men left on base for the Oaks. 8.5 innings have come and gone, and the Oaks on top 8-0. We'll be back for the bottom half of the inning after a short break. You're watching Oaks Baseball on Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network.
Financial capitalists, the Hubcaps, come back to town.
Back in for the bottom of the 8th inning. The Packers have been quiet offensively all game long. They've only mustered 2 hits today, both of them by way of Dylan Francis. Nick Brinkover relieved him last inning through a 1-2-3 inning. He's back on the hill here. First pitch, off-speed foul tip, 0-1. Cade Peters, 308, no home runs, 3 RBIs. Has one of the 2 hits today. They were back-to-back base hits back in the 5th inning off of Francis. He and Wozniak. Next pitch, taken for a ball, 1-1. Peters also a pop out on the infield to the shortstop. Back in the 3rd inning. Next pitch, outside, 2-1. And this seems to be the recipe if you're going to draw up a perfect game for the Oaks. 6 quality innings from your starter handed to the bullpen. Next pitch, Peters checks his swing, 3-1. 6 innings from the starter handed to your bullpen with a big lead and hits all around the lineup. And then you get your reserves in, get everybody some at-bats. Just how Coach Solis drew it up. 3-1 pitch. Caught the inside corner. Peters tossed his bat over to the dugout before the call was made. And that is something that umpires at all levels hate, because the batter is just showing them up a little bit. Full count, nobody out. 8 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Oaks as the 3-2 pitch is taken in the dirt on the curveball, and Peters draws a walk. The first surrendered by Rinkover, the 3rd of the day for the Oaks. Next, there's the catcher, Cole Brodnansky, 0 for 2 today. 264, no home runs, 8 RBIs on the season. Peters takes pretty good size lead off of first base. The first pitch swung on and missed. The fastball thrown right by Brodnansky, 0-1. Rinkover checks the runner, throws over there to no avail. The runner back safely, 0-1. Still the count. The lefty ring cover, a fastball slider changeup combination. Long check of the runner and the pitch. 0-1 turns to 1-1 on that fastball inside. Next pitch. Slider taken low, 2-1.
Big spot here for ring cover. Yes, it is an 8-run game. Yes, it is a latter portion, but you still want to give your team the most effective chance to win and keep the momentum on your side.
Next pitch, a slow roller over to the third baseman, and Lewis lets it go foul.
And that was smart because Lewis could have made the easy play over to first to get out number 1, but he wouldn't have had a play at second. He'd rather let ring cover do his work on the mound than field the sure out at first base and allow a runner in scoring position. Really heads up play there from Brandon Lewis.
The Oaks have only struck out 5 times today. That has been an impressive number for a team that struck out way too much yesterday. 2-2 pitch. Ring cover sets and offers. Slider fouled over to the dugout. A little roller. Still 2-2. Two pitch pending. Ground ball over to the shortstop, shaken. Over to second base for 1. Back to first, a double play. 6-4-3 on the putout. Shaken Pickett's Bart West. Just how you draw it up at home. Beautifully done. And a quick 2 outs for the Conejo Oaks.
Now you see why Brandon Lewis decided to take that ball into foul territory and let it go, because he wanted to allow ring cover to do some work. Let his fielders try to turn that double play, and right out there, done to perfection. It looks like ring cover's day is about to be over. The Oaks will bring in their final pitcher of the day. We'll see who it is here in just a moment, though. It looks like Angus Denton.
Yep. We're going to head to break as Denton comes in. The final line for ring cover. 1 2/3 innings, no hits, surrendered, no runs, and no strikeouts. 1 walk on the day. We're going to head to break quickly while Denton warms up. We'll be right back here on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. Back in for the bottom of the 8th inning, the new pitcher, Angus Denton. In 5 appearances this year, he has a 1.23 ERA. Only 1 earned run, 4 hits surrendered, and 7 in the 3rd innings pitched, also 6 strikeouts. His ERA was perfect up until his last appearance. Wasn't as sharp as we expect from Angus, but a good chance to get some confidence back in an 8-0 game. The new hitter, Luke Fagan, nobody on with 2 outs. That is because Cole Brodnansky just grounded into a 6-4-3 double play that ended Nick Ringcover's day. Denton, the first pitch, fastball just off the plate away, 1-0. 1-0 pitch from Denton. Ran it back, 1-1. Beautiful pitch from Angus.
It's so hard to hit that sidearm swing that he has. See here if you can do it again with the strike.
Next pitch, hit hard to center field. Andrew Lucas rotates over near the track, makes the catch for the third and final out of the inning. So Denton comes in, gets the out he needs, and the side is retired. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. 8-0 Oaks. We head to the top of the 9th inning here on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network.
Burlington Indians 3-2.
Back in for the top of the ninth inning. Crit Rudkin, the new pitcher. He sets and delivers the first pitch in there, called a strike to Tyler Ryan. Final line for Griffin Hadding. 3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 4 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Crit Rudkin out of the University of Alabama at Montevideo. Next pitch, 1-1, outside. Rudkin, tad over 6'2". Next pitch lifted towards the stands out to our right side. Hits off of them, 1-2 still. From Novato, California, Tyler Ryan digs right back in there. One-two pitch down the middle, called strike 3. Ryan goes down looking. And he is now 0 for 1 on the day. He walked in his first plate appearance off the bench, relieving Michael Tillman of his duties. Rudkin's first pitch in there to Tanner Wright. Call the ball. No, excuse me, Will Pickett's. The pinch hitter came in for Tanner Wright in the 7th inning. Pickett's 0 for 1 with a fly out to center field in his only at bat. In 6 innings pitched, a 1.50 ERA for Rudkin as he gets Pickett's on the check swing. Yes, he did go, says the home plate umpire. One pitch. Fastball outside, 2-1. Rudkin has struck out 10 batters in those six innings pitched. So he has been one of their horses out of the pen. 2-1 offering. Fastball line back out of play off the screen. 2-2. And this guy, there's no radar gun available to us here at Recreation Park. But it's clear to me that this guy is throwing in the 90s.
He has to be. He is throwing straight fire right here at Recreation.
Bryce Vitt waiting on deck. Next pitch, a slider in the dirt, 3-2. And Pickett's doing what he does best, working the count full.
But you know what's good about not having a radar gun is that when these guys see pitchers throwing in the 90s, it may get in their head a little bit. Here, you're just seeing fastballs. You don't know how fast they are. All that matters is you're putting wood onto rubber.
Full count pitch. Out back to the screen again. Still 3-2. Pickett's, his on-base percentage remarkably is still over 300, despite his sub-100 average. Making the most out of his slump. Can't say that for a lot of folks. 3-2 pitch, swung on a miss. He strikes out swinging. He's 0 for 2 today. And Bryce Vitt coming in to hit.
Bryce Vitt.
Vitt walked in his only plate appearance today. And the catcher spot, very productive today. Overall 2 for 2, 2 walks, a run scored, and 2 RBIs. First pitch, inner half, called a strike, 0-1. One pitch lifted out of play to the right side, 0-2. Sam Shagan awaiting on deck if the inning gets that far. 2 strikeouts so far for Rudkin. The 0-2 offering. Ground ball over to the second baseman. Arias, no problem over to first. To end the inning, no runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base. Rudkin comes out of the pen, strikes out 2 Oaks batters. 8-0 Oaks. You're watching Oaks Baseball on Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. The bottom of the 9th inning, featuring Angus Denton on the mound. Always a pleasure to watch him pitch. First hitter in the 9th is Ryan Ruley. He is 0 for 3, a strikeout, a flyout, and a 6-3 ground out back in the first inning. Denton back on the hill. Retired Luke Fagan last inning. First pitch lifted high and deep out to center field over the head of Andrew Lucas for extra bases. Ruley will stop at second base with a double as the ball was lost into Ivy back in center field. So a double for Ryan Ruley. Only the third hit of the day for this Prune Packers team. So now one out, one on, nobody out. First pitch from Denton swung on and missed by Arias, 0-1. The line so far, 8 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Oaks, no runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Prune Packers, who had an offensive barrage, an outburst of 22 runs in yesterday's doubleheader. Next pitch, a slider, a frisbee down the middle, 0-2. That pitch moves so much.
It's hard to tell. It is a frisbee, and from the sidearmer, kind of just glides in there.
0-2 now to Arias, who's 0 for 2 today. A little bouncer over to first base, fielded by West. The pitch over to Denton in time for the first out of the inning. 3-1 on the putout.
Yeah, and it might have been a bunt situation regardless, because they just tried to get Ruley over to third. The infield was playing like they were expecting a bunt, so you saw Bart West playing in on the line. But nonetheless, the Packers got that runner over to 90 feet away from scoring position.
Jacob McNichols, the next hitter, 0 for 2 with a walk. First pitch from Denton, a curveball. Did he go? It looked like it. He went to me, but luckily for the Prune Packers, I'm not the umpire. That was outside, 1-0.
And luckily for all of us, you're not the umpire.
1-0 pitch, a fastball, just misses the shoulder of McNichols. 2-0. 90 feet away from scoring the Prune Packers' first run, Ryan Ruley. Next pitch taken inside, 3-0. Denton peers in for his sign. Kicks and offers. Fastball down the middle. In there for a strike, 3-1. Next pitch, fly ball out to left field. Over to the track. That should score the runner from third. The throw from Kyler Ryan, nowhere near in time to get Ruley. And the Prune Packers on the board for the first time today. The score is now 8-1 on the sac fly from Jacob McNichols.
Dean Coughlin.
Good sacrifice there. The Packers, even though they're down and almost out of this game, going through the fundamentals, and that's what you want to do even if you're down. Find those skills that you can take away from as a positive.
First pitch called a strike, 0-1. Denton back on the hill with nobody out. Nobody on and 2 outs. As the 0-1 pitch misses away, 1-1. Arkansas Razorback on the hill. Peers in for a sign and offers. 2-seam action, but a little bit inside, 2-1. Or 1-2. Was that called a strike, Jonathan? Maybe a delayed ball.
I heard a ball. They
Yeah.
put a strike up on the board, but it was indeed called a ball. It was an emphatic ball, though.
2-1, a frisbee curve. Fouled back to the screen, 2-2. So 1 strike away, 1 out away for the Oaks to salvage a ball game in this 3-game set. The pitch from Denton swung on and missed. The Oaks take the final game of this series, 8-1, and they blank. Well, they almost blank the Healdsburg Prune Packers. They surrender 1 run in the 9th, but the final game time is 12:59, a 1 hour and 2 hours and 55-minute ball game, and the Oaks end up on top. The final line for you, 8 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Oaks. A run on 3 hits, no errors for the Prune Packers. Jonathan, this was a much-needed victory for an Oaks team on a losing streak to come up and salvage a ball game against a very good Prune Packers team. I think if you're Coach
Next Tuesday,
Dave Solis, you're going to take that.
This was the best game they played all season long. This is because of the competition that they played. They're coming off of a very long 4-game losing streak, but 2 games in the series. Long road trip, very hot. The team today only held the Packers to 3 hits. This is the second Packers loss in CCL play, second loss of the season. They're playing a very good team on the road. I think as far as well-roundedness goes, they drew 11 walks. They only struck out 7 times, and overall played very good fundamental baseball. This team showed what they were made of, and at the end, they finally were able to salvage a game, a much-needed victory for this Conejo Oaks squad.
Absolutely. Just a recap of some of the top hitters for both teams. Ryan Ruley was 1 for 4 for the Prune Packers. He doubled and scored a run. That was in the 9th inning. Brian Arias went 0 for 2, but added, Jacob McNichols went 0 for 2, but added a sacrifice fly and an RBI in the 9th inning for the Oaks. Much more offense. Brandon Lewis had a very good day. He had 2 doubles and went 2 for 3, was hit by a pitch and also walked. And also for the Oaks, Zach Kamenko, who got the start behind the plate, went 2 for 2 with 2 base hits, 2 RBIs, and a run scored, as well as a walk. So a very impressive day for the Oaks. They're going to head back down to Thousand Oaks, California in about 20 minutes. We're going to pack up, get right on the bus, and it should be a happy bus ride, Jonathan.
It'll be a happy bus ride, and you know these guys are very excited to be back home in the comfortable confines of Cal Lutheran University. After the day off tomorrow, this team will have that one home game on Tuesday before they head onto the road on Wednesday before a 2-game series on Thursday and Friday. It's going to be a long ride, a fun ride. Probably not as fun as this baseball game, but pretty darn close.
Dylan Francis is your winning pitcher. He went 6 innings, gave up 2 hits, struck out 5, and only walked 2. He did not surrender a run. The losing pitcher was the starter for the Prune Packers, Holden Christian, 3 1/3, 2 hits, 3 runs, all earned, 4 walks, and a strikeout. That'll just about do it. The Oaks salvage this game and come out on top 8-1 over the Prune Packers. We'll be back on Tuesday from Thousand Oaks, California for the next Conejo Oaks game. Until then, we have a day off tomorrow. I wish everybody a good Sunday afternoon. Thank you for listening.